Well, what a great morning this has turned out to be.
It's wonderful.
It is wonderful. We're alive. The weather's beautiful. The storms are gone. Not that we had any here. But
Oh, I did. Man, I had some thunder boomers at the house.
No, we had nothing.
Had a ton of rain.
Had nothing here.
Yeah, it was
Nothing.
snap, crackle, and pop. Probably.
We had nothing down here in the south.
Okay, Colonel.
We've been watching.
No.
We've been
Don't
watching.
even go there.
We've
Don't
been
even-
watching videos on the internet of
We have
Don's been watching videos.
Don and Conrad.
some of them from Saturday Night Live and others from music videos from days gone by.
The Four Tops. No, not the Four Tops. The
Four
Four
Seasons.
Yeah, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Was it Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons?
It was.
So he kind of.
I think it
turned-
started off as the Four Seasons.
So he
and
went Diana Ross on him when it was the Supremes, and then it was Diana Ross and the Supremes. It was-
correct. Yeah, it was that.
Oh, let's turn that up. So he went Diana Ross on him.
So this is why we do this. By the way, this is the In Real Time show. This is a preview of the show.
You mark that.
How's
button
your
for next-
phone? But you might as well turn your phone off because
Yeah.
that'll be the next thing
Yep.
that'll shoot off.
Yep.
This is why we do this little preview thing, because we know how we are.
Oh gosh.
And how's your morning been, Jeffrey?
Just action packed. I killed a spider this week.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
That's great.
I felt like Superman.
Yeah.
I don't like spiders.
No?
I'm afraid of spiders.
You don't like spiders and
the,
snakes?
the manly
There's
man.
There's a song in
Acrophobia?
that.
The manly man that I am. Outgoing. Just.
The manly man that
I
you
don't like
are,
spiders.
that's questionable.
I don't like spiders.
I'm just saying.
So you have, is it an acrophobia?
No, I just don't like little buggers.
Mr. Mars, how are you over there?
Don't ask.
Are you still not up and running?
We are getting there so
Mike-
fast.
It just popped up,
So
buddy.
Jim Mars is watching.
That's my nephew. Hey,
Right?
Jim.
And
Hey, Jimbo.
Hey, Jim.
Rusty Knight.
Rusty. I was supposed to go to lunch with Rusty today, but he moved the time from noon until 11 a.m. Well,
Does
clearly
he not know
I
what
can't.
time the show is on? Well, no, he can do 11 a.m. Just bring it here.
Bring it here.
And feed all of us.
Right.
Rusty, you got that?
Because he's going to go down to Guggenheim and Company or someplace down there in the Galleria, some high-priced delicatessen.
Oh boy.
And so he could just bring it back over here, drop it off when
I
he
need
gets
to
done.
leave at 10.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well,
Heitzman is watching.
Very good.
Jeffrey Heitzman, it's good to have you with us.
Our remote audio engineer.
That would be David Ainsley.
No, David is our audio engineer. Heitzman's the one who tells us to turn it up or turn it down.
He's,
Okay.
he's
Or
our,
turn it off.
he's our personal critic.
Turn it up, turn it down,
Turn it off.
do-do-do-do-do-do.
Sounds like a song.
Do-do-do-do.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah. It's been a rather crazy week for me. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you.
I figure we talk
Please.
about it.
No, we're not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
So why was it a crazy week?
Well, the weather was really messed up yesterday, so we couldn't fly. And there was a lot going on, just over and above all of the things that I normally do. And to top it all off, I tried to halfway clean the house yesterday. Don't ask me why. I don't know why.
So when the weather's bad, you're still on call.
Oh, yes.
Are you here or are you there?
He's everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Yes. But yes, we are, but we can't fly. So,
Okay.
the ceilings were too low for the helicopter to fly for the most part of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. And with the fog this morning,
Just tap you on the head.
just tap me on the head and say, your turn. Okay. I will.
Hi, Becky.
Is Becky?
Ainsley's watching.
Oh, Lord.
Yippee.
So
Henry Howard.
It's David Ainsley.
it is. And Mars, Becky's watching, so you better mind your P's and Q's, Buster.
All right, here we go.
Are we going to go?
Beerb.
I'm scared.
Beerb.
That's it.
Celebrating, which is it depends on the day. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. This is the In Wheel Time Car Show this morning. We talked to Consumer Reports about its shocking investigation into the fatal Tesla crash in the Woodlands just a week ago. We'll also have a review of our new car of the week, the redesigned Chevy Tahoe this hour. We look at the growing cruise-in calendar. We have This Week in Auto History and the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, April 24th already, 2021. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. Pay no attention to him, the man behind the curtain. King Conrad DeLong. Jeffrey Zekin in the corner.
Hello.
Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us, and thank you for joining us. I'm afraid to even ask about anything. No.
Yeah.
He's been working on it for, what, a half an hour?
Well, longer than that.
And about 2 seconds before the show starts, he gets it ready.
Okay.
Your timing is impeccable, Mark.
I guess that you have not had the opportunity. Beerb. Okay, very good. You did have the opportunity.
And everybody except for Tony knows what that word means, right?
Yes. So joining us out of the box this morning is a automotive computer artist by the name of Tony Beard. He's also with TuneRides.com, and we want to welcome him to the show. Tony, good morning.
Morning. How y'all doing this morning?
Well,
guys?
we're fine. I'm going to tell you a little story before we get to you. Back in junior high school, you weren't even a gleam in your parents' eye back then. This was centuries ago.
Yeah, this is in the 30s for
In
1830s.
In music class, there was a guy that sat next to me, and he was an incredible artist and drew cartoons all the time throughout the entire class that we sat in together. He was really, this is in middle school. And I was so impressed, I never forgot, can't remember his name.
Mel Blanc.
Wasn't Mel Blanc, that was a voiceover artist. But Tony Beard, TuneRides.com, and I have to tell you that I love artists and I love cartoon artists, and you've managed to meld them into automotive cartoons, correct?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's I really can't even draw a stick figure. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, what it is it's photo manipulation. I started out as a photographer, shooting car shows, anything automotive. And to be perfectly honest with you, the way it started was pretty much an accident. I was working on a photo, actually, of my truck, and kind of just hit the wrong slider in Photoshop, changed some of the geometry on the photo, and it kind of went from there. I sat there laughing for probably 5 minutes after it happened. And then it got me to think, I said, I could probably do something with this, make myself and my friends laugh. And then it just, I posted a couple on social media, and it kind of took off, actually.
Yeah, I had found Tony. He had posted a thread on a Lone Star Throwdown of his work of all the various vehicles at Lone Star Throwdown, and that's how I turned him on to Mars, who set up the interview. But your work from Lone Star Throwdown was, I love it. I think it's awesome. And it's, to a degree, we say cartoonish. It's a little bit of distortion, but you also do some stuff with the color as well. It's not just a distortion of the...
It's a process. Basically, I just kind of... It might sound funny, but when I look at the photo, it almost tells me what it wants me to do with it. I know that might sound a little strange.
Not at all.
I can kind of see it.
Can we lose
the issue is to make it happen
at the bottom of the screen there?
But yeah, color, geometry, quite a bit of things actually. It's quite a long process.
No, and it's really pretty cool work. What Don talks about as far as the cartoons, the hand-drawn stuff, this has very much that flavor of that distorted body shape. Generally, you make the cabs and chassis and passenger compartments and the wheels huge on them, and it gives it a very cartoonish, but you're totally doing it with a Photoshop manipulation. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. Correct. Everything is in Photoshop. It's a mixture of a bunch of different tools, layers. I guess if you want to consider some of it drawing, it might be, but it's not. I wish I had the skill to actually take a piece of paper and create something, but my stick men are crooked.
Yeah, but what you create's pretty cool. And
Appreciate that.
I've kind of followed the whole thread on Lone Star Throwdown, and everybody's sharing it to the person who owned the vehicle that you did, and then the comments that came back. People are kind of happy to see that you chose their car for your work. How long would it take you to do a photo, let's say?
It's honestly anywhere between about 5 minutes and 20.
Oh, really?
Depending on the angle of the photo that I took. I'm not really at the point, I go to car shows and I shoot cars, trucks, whatever's there, motorcycles, anything. And I don't necessarily look at them as I need to get a shot of this so I can cartoon it. I think my brain is kind of working more towards that now because it has kind of taken off and people do enjoy them. So basically when I get them home, I just look at what I have. And as I'm working on them, something will pop up and it's like, I think this will really look cool as a cartoon. And trust me, there's a lot of them that hit the trash bin because they really don't look cool as cartoons. But I'm working on it.
I think that I would look pretty good as a cartoon standing next to one of these cartoon drawings. I don't even, what do you call it? Cartoon manipulation?
Creation.
I guess. I really don't know. It's I call it fun, basically.
Toon rides. That's probably the coolest
Toon
one.
rides.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until I looked at some of them. We've got some, like right now, we've got the yellow 55 Chevy sitting up there. I had to look at some of them to realize that you were actually going in and making the wheels and the tires bigger. Because some of them I just thought, well, they're running 22s or 24s.
Well, actually, what the way it started, and it's like anything else, it's a process, and you learn as you go, and you figure things out as you go. And what happens is when I manipulate the geometry of them, to get that bubble top look.
Right.
What happens is the lower end of the photo, basically, it curves in.
Okay.
So what happens is the tires and so on and so forth get smaller and smaller. And I really didn't like the look on that. But like I said, it's been a process. So I kind of had to figure out, how do I get around these things? And I started making the wheels and tires larger through using multiple layers.
Okay.
So that when I do affect the geometry of the photo, the tires are still relatively large, and it gives it that more cartoonish look.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like we're looking at I guess it's about a 51.
F100
Yeah.
or F1.
And it's got the real tall cab on it. I mean, it really reminds me of the
Looks
movie
like something
Cars.
else. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Maynard.
And I mean, that's really cool looking.
So
That must be Steve's truck, the kind of orangish.
now this
this
one's
is
kind of
beige.
beige.
Red wheels.
Oh, Monty's truck. Yeah, matter of fact, I did a photo shoot with that truck the other day, and just so happened to do a cartoon shot of that.
Yeah.
Are you making a living doing this? Are you making money?
No, man, not at all. Not at all. Like I said, it started out as fun. All my photography is just because I love doing photography. It did get to a point where, all my stuff is on social media. It's all on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. And I was just doing it through my regular photography page. Like I said, just for fun. I go to car shows and I shoot because I enjoy it. When the tune thing actually, and Lone Star Throwdown is what really got it to blow up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's when more people really started seeing it, because I had done one previously for Battle and Bama. I did, an album for that, and that kind of blew up. But the LST thing is really where it kicked off, and my inbox just exploded. So I created a separate Facebook page for Tune Rides. And, people will send me photos and so on and so forth. Hey, can you do this? And it kind of got to the point where, there were so many people asking. And I have a normal job. I have a regular job. I have a day job.
Yeah,
and a family, of course. I have a lot of things going on.
That's Lonnie's.
Yeah, that's Lonnie's truck.
So, there were so many people asking. It got to the point where, okay, I'm going to kind of have to start charging for this. So I decided, $10, just a little something, just $10 for my time. So the wife is not, you're spending all your time on the computer for no reason.
You had to have an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to,
and when I said $10, it's like it just slowed down. I was like, well, they're cool, but we'll wait and see if you happen to do one of ours.
Yeah.
So making a living from it, no, but I still do them just because I love them.
So tell me how, with when you look at some of these, it's not just the shape and the dimension of the car. You also manipulate the paint. So where it's like you're adding in like a modeling or a wavy effect to the paint. Is that also a layer that you do through Photoshop?
Yes, sir. That's it's almost like it's what they call an oil paint layer.
Okay.
Within Photoshop, and then what I do is I just manipulate that until I get it to the point where I want it. Sometimes I have to fade it out because it's a little too strong. But yeah, it is a preset layer in Photoshop, but there's a lot of manipulation done to that layer.
Yeah, because the texturing, some of the cars, that texturing of that oil paint layer is really pretty cool, and it really kind of makes the because so many people have gone with this patina, let's paint over the rust thing. It really makes that jump out at you when you do them. I know. I'm sure they'll freak out that I'm just saying paint over the rust because there's a lot of prep work done to it before that. But and the Lone Star Throwdown is where I found you, and I just thought the work was amazing. And then you would kind of bounced back that hey, it's not that hard to do. Well, it is for me.
Yeah, I don't deal with Photoshop at all anymore.
It's it's more, I think, more time, because once you figure out the process, it's a little more time consuming than it is hard. It depends on how far you want to take a photo, depending on what the vehicle is, where the trim is, so on and so forth. Sometimes you have to, use what they call the clone stamp tool to add things back in. So some of them are a little harder than others.
And do you see that ahead of time now, or do you not really see that until you start manipulating the photo?
Oh, when I look at a photo, I can kind of tell roughly about, the amount of work I'm going to have to put into it. But there's always little surprises, while you're working on them, things that I try to catch every single detail. Even though it's a cartoon shot, I still want it to look like the vehicle. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take it to a point where it's just so outrageous that it's unrecognizable. So you have to watch the details. You have to try to keep the trim in. Sometimes you can't, certain badges. There might be a badge close to the fender, close to the wheel well, I'm sorry. And then when I expand those things, that badge might have to disappear.
Just because
if I can keep them in there, I like to, but sometimes you can't.
So how did you, is there a reason that you got into the Photoshop thing? Is that part of what you do for a living? Is it just a hobby?
It's just a hobby. Like I said, it's with my photography. There are a million great photographers out there. There are a million photographers out there that are 100 times better than I am. But I have a certain look that I like in my everyday photography. I don't like, for lack of a better word, just a plain, clear photo. Those are great. I think they're wonderful. The guys that do that, they're wonderful. Everything's beautiful, crystal clear. I just like a different effect on my stuff. And I think when I accidentally did the first cartoon, the combination of the two just seemed to work.
Well, I don't know. I'm not very computer literate. I can get on the internet and I can, do the basics. I've never even gotten into Photoshop, and I know a lot of people are into that. And we have a friend of the show's, George Skelton, who apparently is an expert at it because he manages to put my face on dogs. So, which is appropriate. But at any rate, I think you have a great talent, and it's truly a fun deal that you got going. So it's tunerides.com, and you can also find you on Facebook. And
it's actually, I don't actually have a .com, an actual standalone site. Like I said, everything is on Facebook. You can find me Tune Rides on Facebook. And actually, I have something for you guys, if y'all don't mind if I share something.
We're in trouble now.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, we're ready.
I think he's trying
to it's. I think you'll like it.
I'm scared.
He's probably been working on it while we're sitting here talking to him.
I'm disabled, guys.
Mike's been. Okay.
Can he share?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He's trying.
Nah, it's not letting me get to it.
Okay. Well, you can send it to us, and we'll throw it up a little bit later. How's that?
Yeah, you can just send it to me or send it to In Wheel Time on Messenger.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll email
pop it
over.
up.
It's just a picture.
So
Nothing
it's
crazy.
Tune Rides on Facebook, not .com. And so we have Mike Mars to thank for that.
You're welcome.
But, but
Yes, sir,
anyway,
correct.
how do you drive a car from the passenger seat or from the back seat?
Well, they're thinking it was manipulated somehow.
No, my thought was they weren't belted, and they got tossed when they wrecked.
Weren't they like doctors or something?
Yeah,
or
one of them was a
lawyers or
doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other one was, but one of them was a doctor, which is, how scary
Sounds
is that?
like malpractice. So the driver was not in the cockpit?
There was no person in the
They were not in the
driver's seat.
cockpit.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you're supposed to ring the bell.
It went right over his head.
well, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit busy here trying to figure out with Mr. Mars whether we've got our guest or not. Okay, so let's just go to him right now. He is Todd Quick with the Wild Horse Mustang Club. Todd, how are you this morning? Good to have you with us.
Hello, Todd.
Doing great.
Good.
Glad
good.
to be here.
Well, good. Thank you very much. So, where is the Wild Horse Mustang Club based out of?
Wild Horse.
What'd I say?
We're based out of Lumberton, Texas,
oh,
Lumberton.
Beaumont
Yeah.
area.
Beaumont.
About
Okay.
15 minutes north of Beaumont.
yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
Mike's
how
backyard.
how many members are in your club?
Currently, we're at about 30 members.
30 members. Very nice.
Everybody's a Mustang.
Yes,
Any Shelbys in there?
for the most part, but it's not a requirement.
Okay. Yeah, we've got
We've even been known to have some cougars.
oh boy, we'll just get in trouble talking about that.
No, I had a Nova, and I liked the Cougar. I had a friend of mine who had an Eliminator. Fantastic looking car. It was a nice
Well,
car.
they're Mustangs and Cougars
Right.
were sister cars.
Weren't
I
they on
think.
the same platform?
Yeah, but I think the Cougar had a little bit longer wheelbase.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, very much sister cars, and some pretty rare Cougars out there.
So, do you guys have anything coming up in the near future there, Todd?
As a matter of fact, we do. We've got our spring Mustang and all Ford show coming up on May 8th at Silsbee Ford in Silsbee, Texas.
Okay.
Oh,
Silsbee Ford is our club sponsor.
And that's right there on the Silsbee bypass. And
We've been with. That is correct. They've been a great sponsor for us. So come on out and do the car show and have a great time.
If you have a Ford.
well, to show it, but you can come look at all the beautiful Fords while you're
Yeah,
there.
this is our all Ford show.
You can drive your Chevy up there to look at them, but you can't.
We
put it in the
also
show.
do a fall show, which is an open.
It's an open show in the fall.
And you do that also at Silsbee Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool to get that kind of a
Yes, we
relationship.
do. They give us plenty of real estate to spread out.
Yeah.
So, where you have a Facebook page or a website or anything for the Wild Horse Mustang Club?
We got the whole shebang. We are on Facebook, so you can check that out. We have our own website. It's Wild Horse Mustang Club, all one word, .org.
.org, okay.
And then we have an email. Yeah. wildhorsemc@gmail.com if you want to email us.
Okay, very good. Well, I know that a lot of people are looking to get out and join, a road trip per se, and that'd make a great road trip over there to Silsbee at Silsbee Ford on May the 4th.
May the 8th.
May the 8th. At least I got the month right.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. That's it. Well, it's good to talk to you, Todd. Yes, sir? We have quite a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at any rate, well, we're going to let you go, Todd. It's great to talk to you. Thanks so much. Wild Horse Mustang Club meeting on May the 8th.
Lumberton, Texas.
Silsby Ford.
It's at Silsby Ford.
Be there, be square.
There you go.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
What's next on the list?
Well, what's next on the list is the cruise-in calendar, and I know that you have that. This is kind of we're off to a funky start here today.
Well, this afternoon at Houston Raceway Park is the Quick 30 drag racing under the lights. So they're going to have.
Well, that's not this afternoon. That would be tonight.
Well,
get it after I get done with the with the car review.
Caroline is going, why are they talking about laundry?
This is the In Wheel Time car show. In time now for our car review for the hour. It's a 2021 GMC Yukon. Had a chance to drive it. Available trim levels are the SLE, the SLT, the AT4, and the Denali. I had the four-wheel drive AT4. All AT4s are four-wheel drive. Just saying, but that's what it says on the sticker. Mm-hmm. Standard SUV, according to the government. It's a body-on-frame big-a-boy. Mm-hmm. How many passengers? It will seat up to 9.
Wow.
I did not realize that you could still get a bench seat in the front. But remember, the bench seat is kind of a convertible thing, right? And it's got this great big huge center console thing that folds down, which was the back for the middle passenger. So you get a bench in the middle and a bench in the back, and you get 9 folks in there. How about that?
I think it's 3 little people all the way in the back.
No, it's not, because they've increased the size and they've also increased the footwells all the way through it.
Wow.
Complete redesign here in 2021. 6 inches longer than the outgoing model. This is the traditional big grille with the faux skid plate in front and a great big GMC emblem right out there in the middle of the grille. You cannot miss it. Forward tilted C-pillar on this, rather distinctive. Distinctive taillight package on this as well to differentiate it from its Suburban and Tahoe cousins. Interior highlights include a new dash, nicely designed and easy to use. I really do like that dash
nice looking
setup.
cockpit.
AT4 has unique contrasting color accents and stitching on the leather. Big center console storage. This one had buckets in the front, and there you can see that that lid on that console storage. Big touchscreen with new graphics on it. It's all new this year. Cargo trunk room. How big you want it? Folding second and third rows lead to 122.9 cubic feet of space. It's like it's honestly like your van.
Yeah.
In the inside when you fold everything down. What I liked about it, that new GMC infotainment screen works great and it's easy to use. Powered by the optional 6.2-liter V8 engine that cranks out 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque through a 10-speed automatic. What are you laughing at?
Look at the picture.
That's the wrong picture.
Through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating is 8,000 pounds. It gets 16 miles per gallon in the city, 20 on the highway for an 18 miles per gallon combined rating. I got 17.9.
That's
over 430.1 miles, which is a whole lot better than 12 miles to the gallon that it used to get.
Yeah.
What I liked about it, it's got plenty of power. I also had a lot of use with the start-stop off feature on it, because every time you started the car,
it engages.
So you have to reach over there and hit the off.
Turn off.
Yes, please.
But it also deactivation, doesn't it?
There you have it. That is the review of the 2021
GMC Yukon. Well,
I've always got to wait for.
Was that a pause for effect?
It was a pause for a while, because I thought for sure that you were going to go ahead and finish my sentence like you always do, because you had your mouth open, and the flies were going in and out of it.
Oh boy!
The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, InWheelTime.com, and podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues after this quick break. When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcome like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast taco with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, this is the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Turned out to be a pretty nice day here in Southeast Texas, where our show originates from, and we're glad.
Something you need to get done, or if they're keeping the car long term and the fluids are coming up to be due, so that way they can kind of look over their budget and be more in control of their expenses.
Well, I have to tell you that, and I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but I took my car to her. This was, I don't know, December or January, because the car needed fluids changed in it. Now, mind you, my car is 20 years old. Some of the fluids, well, obviously the oil gets changed on a regular basis, but some of the fluids, to my knowledge, had never been changed.
Oh, boy.
And so I wanted to make sure that they were fresh. I've been kind of working toward getting the car ready for a road trip. I keep threatening myself about going on a road trip. And part of that deal was to get all of the fluids changed so I have a starting point now and I know where we are. And Carolina was kind enough to run me through all of that, and she actually had set up for me to get it done in increments so I didn't have one gigantic expense. But as it turned out, it was okay for the one gigantic expense because, to be honest with you, it's not cheap. Because, I mean, you name the fluids that you changed in my car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and plus, not just the fluids, we use the BG. So it's double that you're making that investment on keeping the car long term. You've gotten the BG protection plan. And, I mean, I can't say enough good things about them, obviously, because they take care of my customers and they're happy about it. But being proactive is one of the best things people can do. I think over the last year, many of us weren't driving as much. Maybe your mechanic told you, hey, you're going to need brakes coming up in 6 months. Pandemic happened. We're stuck at home. So now you're going to start driving again, or you want to go to, 2 hours away to visit grandma because now you can finally see her, or et cetera. And you want to go have the car looked over to make sure that you're fully aware of maybe some things that we forgot.
Well, and that's very important, is to have the car looked over before you go on a long trip and get out of town. If the car's been sitting for a long time, things can happen, things can dry out, things can get full of water. So you want to make sure you have a professional take a good look at the vehicle for you, do the inspection, get it up in the air, and check stuff out before they send you on a long trip. And I don't know where you're going, Don. You're going to drive all the way to?
I don't even know where I'm going yet. No, I don't have a destination yet. but I hopefully will have one here before the 1st of July.
If anybody wants to tell Don where he needs to go,
there'll be lots of people
on the
could tell
Facebook
Don
page.
where to go.
Yeah, I know all of that already.
When are you going to get your fluids changed?
I had all of my fluids
okay.
changed. Yes, I did. I had all of that done, and she did it.
But the cool thing about Carolina's Service Smart program is it allows you to plan to do all of those things.
Correct.
Because maybe not all of them are going to happen at once, but in that sequence, the program you've got written there is going to make the recommendation on the timing that it's
different
when it's
mile
necessary.
Increments.
Right. And
Right.
different vehicles.
And then
Right.
also, if you're looking at, if you're looking at buying a new car, now you have a start. Okay, well, how much longer is my plan to keep this car? So many things in life that we just keep going. We don't take time to stop and think about what expectations are and how we can get to that point. So if we know already, oh gosh, the car is going to need brakes, I'm going to need to buy new tires in a year. So I'm not sure if this car is going to fit our family needs beyond another year and a half. So maybe we need to start looking at what kind of new cars we're going to buy. If we're buying a used car, start looking for the used car. What are some things we can spend money on and we'll get our money back whenever we go and trade it in? Because, I always want a car to be well taken care of, but there's no point on spending a lot of money on maintenance if you're just going to turn around and go trade it in when you could have used that money to go towards your newer car. So I think that's the biggest thing is it gives people a starting point and it really forces you to think about, okay, let me take 5 minutes out of my day and look at all my options here. And does this financially make sense for my family?
Yeah, should I invest $3,000 in maintaining the vehicle or use it as a down payment to get a new vehicle with less miles or a brand new vehicle with no miles on it, and find that balance. And that's what your Service Smart's there for, is to give them, hey, here's the view of the future of what you're going to spend on maintenance in time increments, and I always tell people, when you buy a car and you make payments on it for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, whatever they're moving to today, continue to make that payment even after you've paid the vehicle off, because you need to accrue that money to make maintenance, to keep the maintenance of the vehicle up. So if you're paying $500 a month for 5 years, at the end of 5 years, continue to make that $500 payment so that you have a bank for maintenance expense.
Right. Or if you know what, something happens to the car, now you're going to have money to put towards the next car. And you're able to have a well-balanced budget, if you will. Or at the end of the year, you got extra money, just go on vacation, go on a road trip, treat your family.
Take Don with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You'll be insane by the end of the trip. But the one thing that I wanted to bring up is the fact that she told me, and I was kind of like a reality check for me, Don, you need new tires. Now, there's plenty of tread left on the tires. We'll get into that at another time. But the fact of the matter is they've aged out and they're starting to crack. And so I talked to Jeff about it. We'll get into that another time. But that's part of what they do. They look at all of these different things. I didn't even think about tires until she said, when I went and pick it up, wrote her the check, hey, you need new tires.
Oh, and new tires on your Corvette's a couple of $1,000.
No, it's not that much.
But the thing is, you walk by it and you look at it. Oh, it's got plenty of tread. You just don't think about it being dating out.
10 years old.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something that I've got to do here in the next month or two. So at any rate, generally, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I have a maintenance blog. It's maintenanceisamust.com. And there's different tips on there, like how to read the DOT date, when you're looking for a new car, or what kind of questions to have with your mechanic. So even if you're not in the Houston area, because I know you have a lot of people who are not just in Houston that listen to you, they can visit my blog, maintenancemust.com, and they can read about different tidbits that I see throughout the week, and I'll just post something.
And let's not forget That inspection sticker. And I know that's a sore subject for her because it's such a pain. Because, they pretty much lose money by doing state inspections, but as a full-service shop, it's something that they have to do for their customers like me.
And it's quite an investment on their part because they have to have all the crazy state equipment there.
And then it connects to the state of Texas computer, and it's a long, involved process.
But you have to have it done to get
your license plate. Yes,
you get the car registration, and now isn't it 3 months? You can get it done up to 3 months before your registration is due.
Right, it's 90 days.
90 days. So, and that triggers, as soon as they do it, it tells the state that it's done. So when you send your registration money in, they'll send you the sticker that you can put on the windshield.
Yeah.
Well, but some places you go to, like where I go to, you pull up there, they look at the vehicle, they drive around the block, check the brakes on it real quick, they pull it in, do the headlights, boom, it's done. I mean, I'm talking 5 minutes.
You live in
what I'm saying
I don't
is,
think you need emissions.
but right, we don't need the emissions where we're at. That's a big part of it. But to some place like your shop, I mean, not only do you have to do the emissions, but you also check out the vehicle for the customer.
It's the halo effect.
Where I go, it's kind of like, boom, you want inspections? Boom, here it's out. Get out of the way. We got another one coming in behind you.
Here, we don't even care about your car. Here's just the inspection sticker. Go ahead and take it on your way.
We used to could do that, but we can't do that anymore. But my point being, somebody like her is checking out the whole vehicle for the customer, and you're going to get a lot more out of it than just an inspection sticker. They have a lot more time involved. Back to your point about they're losing.
Carolina, what is the deal with the gas cap? I still don't quite understand that. Tell us about the gas cap.
So the deal, like why we check it?
Yeah. Why is
Or
that part
the
of the
deal,
inspection system?
So what the machine does, it's checking to make sure that the gas cap can pressurize. So you don't want any fuel vapors escaping there, or we all care about the emissions. And then so you have that portion where we hook up the connected to the gas cap, and it runs through this little pressure test. And then the OBD2 portion, like remember you saw that I put that wire in the car?
Yeah.
That connects to the OBD2 port. That's checking to see the emissions on the computer side. So it's the state wanting to ensure that you're being a responsible owner for the environment.
Yay.
Yay, me, I am.
Not to mention, on some of the newer ones, if the gas cap doesn't seal, doesn't that throw a code and start causing you some some lights to come on?
Sensor?
Yeah. Then some cars don't even have the gas cap, so we just say, it's not something that's testable.
Yeah, because they have the when you push the gas pump in, that opens up the little trap door.
Yeah, the fuel filter,
so
fuel
they're
filler.
capless gas tanks, and that's more and more manufacturers are moving towards capless gas tanks. Ford is, GM is, and more are moving to that.
So what does that do to the emissions? I mean, does it really seal that well?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, it seals for sure. And then the other thing is, like you said, if it didn't seal, it'll turn a check engine light on, so that when Carolina plugs the wire in to talk to the computer in the car, the computer says, "Hey, there's a P0442, and it's not Oldsmobile related."
Yeah.
A
I think that's
P0442?
probably one of the most common.
Yeah, P0442 in that world is a large evaporative emissions leak. For me, anything 442 is Oldsmobile related, so it's
the old gas passer there. Yeah.
We know you.
I just had someone who came in yesterday. Her check engine light was on. I was like, why don't you just come by? Let's just pull the code, and we can make a plan. We don't have to think worst case scenario. There's so many different reasons why a check engine light can come on. Just swing on by. And it was the gas cap. And we went to the fuel door, like we popped it open, and it was just completely missing. So that's why the light was on.
Wasn't even there.
Interesting.
It wasn't even there. Yeah.
Probably left it in the pump when they were getting gas.
I think so.
Could have.
Yes. The son borrowed the car. So yes.
Yeah, it's sitting on top of a pump somewhere.
Somewhere.
Now
right.
that would be unusual because my kids never put gas in my car when they borrowed it.
So where is the best place for us to get this kind of information through Professional Auto Care?
For the shop is professionalautocare.com. You can read a bunch of information about different vehicle systems. You can find out more about our business. So you can read more about Service Smart.
Yeah, Service Smart is the
That's
thing
what I was trying to
that we're
think of.
kind of focus on with getting your car ready to take the road trip, and that's something that they can research on your website and also give you a call should they have any questions.
Sure. Absolutely.
And Service Smart's an exclusive feature offered by Professional Auto Care because Carolina's written it. Now, I keep waiting for her to go to like an app form on this, and then she could sell it to BG and then tie it all together.
Well, there you go. So there's your new charge for the next 6 months to get that
there's
all
your-
developed, and I know that you will.
Send all-
Carolina, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so
Always.
much for joining us
you.
today. We love talking to you, and thanks for coming in just for us today. We hope to see you again soon. Not too soon, but we hope to see you again
That's
soon.
right.
Take care, honey. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
It's always good to talk to her.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're a great shop. They've got some very good technicians there, and her dad kind of oversees everybody. It's really pretty interesting to go there as a shop because her dad has his own training center
Yes.
across the street that he trains all his techs. They train Carolina there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very interesting shop, and they do wonderful work.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him on one of my visits there. Great guy.
Yes.
And knows his stuff big time.
Very much so.
Yep,
Very much
yep.
so.
But
And
she does as well.
oh
Yes.
yeah, but you know, part of that is you have to continuously educate yourself. You know, the advancement of technology in cars is so fast right now. If you're not always trying to learn something, you quickly fall behind.
Well, the more you know, it's easier to adapt as well because there's things that, okay, I know this particular function and
right.
feature, and then something else is coming on board with that. Okay, what are the results if I don't do this or I do that?
and,
Time
they,
now-
and they
oh.
all tie in together.
That's right. All right, time now for This Week in Auto History. We always love talking about auto history. And I
So-
know that you always have some interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, oh.
You
please
ready?
Don't tell me I put the wrong one up.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So in 1921, Matilda Dodge was the widow of John Dodge from the Dodge brothers. She was named to the board of directors of Graham Page Motor Corporation, becoming the first woman to sit on the board of a major auto manufacturer.
And to use a man's razor.
Do I swipe left or right on this one?
So that's Matilda, a name that I don't think is very popular anymore. But you know, she was the first female head of an automotive company. So I thought that was an interesting fact.
Cool.
In 1955, Volkswagen of America was established in Englewood, New Jersey. 55 was also a banner year for Volkswagen as the company produced its 1 millionth car for the first time worldwide. You got to remember, Volkswagen produces cars in Mexico, Germany. They were
South
producing
America.
cars, South America,
Yeah.
all over the world. So so in 1955 they built 1 million vehicles, and they were actually averaging building 1,000 cars per day in 1955. In 1967. General Motors celebrated the manufacture of its 100 millionth American-made vehicle. It was a
Chevy?
1960. That was a Chevy Caprice. You get the side view will show you the Caprice because remember the Caprice had the formal rear glass where the Impala had the fastback on it. So again, and back then GM was the world's largest auto manufacturer. Well, they're not anymore. The legendary Ayrton Senna won his first Formula One race his first Formula One championship at the Portuguese Grand Prix in Estoril in 1985, who eventually ended up his demise at Imola in Italy from a real bad wreck. In 1987, the Chrysler Corporation purchased Lamborghini, the Italian-based...
Countach.
Yeah, right. Didn't every teenage kid
Yes, I
have
did.
have that on the wall of
Yes,
their...
I did.
Yeah.
Didn't
If
the
you were
Col-
lucky, she had on a black bathing suit to go with it. If you're lucky.
Didn't the Colonel drive that?
Boy, we're going to wander off that one. But the terms of the deal weren't publicly disclosed, but it was said that Chrysler paid $25 million for Lamborghini
Yeah, it's a tight cockpit.
at the time. Oh, yeah, those were very difficult to get in and out of as well. In 1995, after producing 6,939 cars, the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 went out of production. There's some interesting things about the ZR1, and that's why I kind of show the back. The rear of the vehicle was wider on the ZR1 specific cars. The fenders were wider to cover larger tires, so a very specific rear fascia and rear fenders on that Corvette. And then if the motor picture showed up somewhere else, but if the motor picture's
on his review.
Yeah, if the motor picture's there, actually the engine in the Corvette ZR1 the first year put out 375 horsepower. The second year and later put out 405 horsepower. Was designed by Lotus, built by Mercury Marine in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Huh.
So, and it was a 16-valve motor, so pretty interesting. And then in 2008, Danica Patrick won the Indy Japan 300 in the twin ring motor Tigi in Japan. And she was the first female to win an IndyCar race.
Okay.
So, again, interesting facts this week in automotive history.
Thank you very much. Time now for this hour's news of the week. Ford Motor Company Wednesday informed workers that it is extending downtime at key North American plants, including at one of two sites that build the top-selling F-150 pickup truck, between 1 and 2 weeks because of the ongoing chip shortage. In a memo to employees obtained by Automotive News and confirmed with the company, Ford said the Chicago and Flat Rock, Michigan plants, as well as both the F-150 and transit van sides of its Kansas City, Missouri plant, will be shut down the weeks of May 3rd and 10th. Flat Rock, which builds the Mustang, and Chicago Assembly, which builds the Explorer and Lincoln Aviator crossovers, have been idled since the week of April 12th. Kansas City has been idle since the week of April 19th.
And dealer inventories are falling quickly.
It's been more than 800 days since the Motor City has had an auto show, and the next one is still about 500 days away. To fill the void until September 2022, the Detroit Auto Dealers Association helping to bring a new car-focused event to the city this summer. Motor City Car Crawl, as they're going to call it, aims to bring some economic activity back to Detroit. Good luck. The 4-day outdoor event set for August will showcase dealer-supplied vehicles throughout 6 downtown parks.
So are they implementing that in Woodward Cruise?
Yeah, that's what's interesting. Is it going to be in association with the Woodward Dream Cruise? Because that's also in August.
I will use this story next hour. Let me look at this one here. By the way, the Duke of Edinburgh began working with the automaker Land Rover in 2003 to design his own hearse based on a Defender TD5 130 chassis cab. He said, "Just stick me in the back of a Land Rover and drive me to Windsor," is what he said. That's a quote.
He was dying to get in.
Those are reportedly the funeral instructions that Prince Philip gave to his wife, Queen Elizabeth II, before he died April 9th at the age of 99. The Duke of Edinburgh began working with Land Rover in 2003 to create a bespoke hearse based on a Defender TD5 130 chassis cab, according to Sky News. Philip designed the open-top rear section to hold his wooden coffin. Officials said a second copy was built as a backup.
I wonder who was in the cockpit driving it.
I would have gone to Aston Martin or something, and I would have told him I was the Duke
of Earl.
Well, we went a long way for that joke. So, Mercedes introduced their EQS electric vehicle, and they're going to follow it up with an EQB electric SUV.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting.
Nice.
Global Micro
to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to OnHold.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Coming up, Jeffrey's going to review our pre-owned car of the week, the 2018 Honda Ridgeline. Conrad will have his car clinic. We'll have the stories making automotive news headlines, along with a couple of guests. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, April 24th, 2021. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today, and thank you very much for joining us. I did want to mention a couple of things that are coming up as far as racing is concerned. On May the 29th, I know it's a little over a month away, but that's going to be the next race, Roundy Round race at Houston Motorsports Park. I know that you are...
HMP.
Yeah, Houston Motorsports.
It's the place to be.
May the 29th. And if you want a little road trip, you can go over to the Mobile International Speedway because on May 1st is race day over there.
See, and that's where I thought you were thinking of taking the Corvette.
Well, I would, but you have to understand that we have next weekend the Keels and Wheels.
Big show.
Big show next weekend. And actually,
big
we've
show.
decided that the show wasn't long enough. So we're going to extend it to 12 noon.
Nice.
We have so many guests.
Oh, that's news to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that your birthday?
Incredible. Yeah. After that.
So if you're wondering where our guest is, so are we. You know, are we getting anywhere close there, Mr. Mars?
We're having an issue with the video portion.
The video portion of the program. All right. Well, I do have a couple of other things that pardon me, I'm not turning my back to you. Just give me a second here. It just so happens that I have my little pile of things that we can use here. And I thought...
Well, while you're looking for something, I've got a couple of things to...
Well, Conrad's beat me to the punch, so we'll just let him go ahead.
You know, we talked a couple of weeks ago about the Mecum auction and how some of these donation cars, these charity cars, and how much money they've raised. Well, let's talk about the last Barrett Jackson, and they had some huge charity cars go through. There was a 2003 Chevy Monte Carlo, which was a Jeff Gordon car. It went through at $115,000.
Was it the actual NASCAR?
Yep. To benefit the Arizona Animal Welfare League. There was a Blackwing, a CTS-4V Blackwing.
I did see that. That
went through to benefit the Black Ambition opportunity. Went for $165,000. The same group had a CTS-5V Blackwing, and it went through, and the charity received $265,000. There was a 2020 Corvette convertible that went through to benefit the United Way, sold for $400,000, and that was the first retail-built Corvette convertible for 2020. The number 10001 TRX Launch Edition Ram truck to benefit the United Way went through for $410,000.
I'm not a big fan of the United Way. Are you? You know how much is the CEO of that company makes? It's a company.
I look at it as how much of the money is donated to them goes to the charity.
The actual star.
I did what I was told.
All right. So Kelly is here. Kelly is here, and she is joining us, and she is been very patient while we try and work through this.
All right. Well, let me just start off the story, okay?
Yes.
The fatal crash of a Tesla with no one apparently behind the wheel has cast a new light on the safety of semi-autonomous vehicles and the nebulous U.S. regulatory terrain they navigate. A Tesla Model S smashed into a tree last Saturday at a high rate of speed, failing to negotiate a bend, burst into flames, killing one occupant found in the front passenger seat and the owner in the back seat. That all happened in the Woodlands just north of Houston. Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted on Monday that preliminary data downloaded by Tesla indicate the vehicle was not operating on autopilot and was not part of the automaker's full self-driving system. Tesla's autopilot. Her main interest is assessing the performance and driver experience of advanced driver assistant systems. And so here she is now. It's Kelly Funkhauser from Consumer Reports. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us, and it's a pleasure to have you with us today, especially with a story that has gone worldwide but is really kind of local at the very heart of it, because 2 people died in that accident last Saturday night just north of where we are here in the Houston area. So, Kelly, what exactly found out? Because I know that you guys test all different kinds of cars, and this particular car was in your fleet. What have you found out?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me. And, first of all, I want to say that this is a really unfortunate crash. We've lost 2 lives. I know that that's particularly close to home for you all. And so, our key mission is to make sure that vehicles are safe, and any technology that's put on vehicles is safe for drivers to use. So yes, we have had this vehicle. We've had all of the different vehicles that Tesla produces at our track, and we currently have a Tesla on hand, a Model Y. It's actually here at my house today, sitting right outside this window.
Lucky you.
And so we've tested the autopilot system as well as the full self-driving package, but that was not relevant to this case. It was just the autopilot.
And so, what have you found out how in the world can a car that supposedly has to have a human being behind the wheel could be put into autopilot and driven from another seat other than the driver's seat?
Right. So we have seen YouTube videos, and the internet is full of all sorts of crazy things of people tricking these systems in the past. And so we actually look at how easy it is to trick each of the systems on all of the cars, not just Tesla, but on all the cars that have the capabilities of controlling the steering, so trying to keep it in the lane, as well as the speed, which are basically the 2 building blocks to, controlling the driving aspect while you're on most major highways and most roadways. So we wanted to document whether or not it was even possible to have the vehicle on autopilot with no one in the driver's seat. We've seen it before, but we wanted to check with our own eyes. So we took it out to our track, which is a closed test track, very important. We weren't in danger of any other vehicles, coming at us or anything like that. And we did have a team of monitoring to know if there's even a driver in the driver's seat.
Well, one of the things that we had the story here several weeks ago. Well, actually, it was last year, because it's been in development, and now I know that GM is using it on many of their semi-autonomous vehicles, where there is basically a camera that looks at the driver's eyes, and it can determine whether there's eyes there in front of the camera, and also can determine whether or not you're going to nod off and that sort of thing. Explain how that works and why that is important. Clearly, we don't want to fall asleep behind the wheel, but it's also going to be integrated, I understand, into the semi-autonomous system that GM continues to develop off of their Cruise system that they have in cars now.
Right. So the Cadillac system with Super Cruise uses a camera to look at the driver's head and eyes. And so it's trying to see if the driver is looking towards the forward roadway. It's not at all a perfect system. It can make easy, simple improvements as well to be even better. But currently, it's really the only one on the market that is doing what they're doing. We do have some other brands like BMW.
Because the technology's already proven to do that. They have it. It's just a matter of taking that sensor, putting it in the driver's side, and integrating it into the computer. Why they would not do that really doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, I think part of it is...
Right, so they do actually have the sensor in the driver's seat. It's required. Go ahead.
No, but is it not integrated into the auto?
Got this week about your discovery?
Yes, we have, and so there are some safeguards in place, right? We didn't just turn it on from the passenger seat. The seatbelt had to be buckled, and we did, trick the system by putting a weight on the steering wheel. That doesn't mean that other people don't go out and trick the system just as easily, but we don't recommend doing that. It's not how it's intended to be. But going back to the government, their role in this, we are very lucky at CR to have a former acting administrator of NHTSA, David Friedman.
Electric power, but also to have autonomous driving, or at least autonomous assist. And I find it that, do you think got our foot
out ahead of our skis?
Yeah, I think that we're out ahead of the thing here, and I really haven't given it too much thought in a rush. Do you guys feel the same way?
So individuals that we would like to see, widespread. But if you just hop in and you don't know what you're doing, it's really easy to misuse it, accidentally or intentionally. And so anything at all we can do, driver monitoring camera, put that weight sensor in, anything at all is, huge improvements towards this potential life-saving technology.
Has the Consumer Reports investigators had access to the Tesla data? Because Tesla's acquiring data on these vehicles while they're in motion. There's data that's transmitted at the moment of accident and seconds before. I know OnStar does the same thing. So there's a lot of data acquisition that's done by the manufacturer. Has Consumer Reports looked at it yet?
I don't know any of those things for sure. I know there's a lot of speculation about who has seen what exists and all of that. It's quite the conversation online right now.
Okay.
But no, I have not seen it. I do not know for sure that it exists, who has it, anything like that. I do believe.
May 23rd, Circuit of the Americas, NASCAR in Texas. Going to be a pretty cool event. First time the NASCAR guys have driven the road course at Circuit of the Americas. Also this weekend is IndyCar at St. Petersburg Street Course. And then the following weekend, the IndyCars are going to be at Fort Worth, Texas at the mile-and-a-half track. NHRA is on the 2nd. The Southern Nationals at Atlantic Dragway. Formula One is going to be May 9th, and Monaco is going to be May 23rd.
Thank you, sir. Time now for our pre-owned car of the week. And ladies and gentlemen, we always want more Jeff. And Jeff is here now with a review of what do you have today, sir?
I have a 2018 Honda Ridgeline. Very special vehicle. You don't see too many of them, but you do on, at least I see them, but some folks don't.
It's kind of like the modern-day El Camino.
Sure. Yeah, we could go that route. Available trim levels are the RT, the Sport, the RTL, the RTLE, the RTLT, and the Black, which is an all-wheel drive Ridgeline. We're reviewing the RT, which is a utility vehicle. It is not shown or listed as a sport utility vehicle. It is just a utility vehicle. 5 passengers. Exterior, you've got colored front bumpers on the fascia treatments. You've got the black rear step bumper treatment. You've got black side trim, body colored mirrors, tilt option, and manual folding mirrors. You've got the dark chrome grille. You can get different options and different variations of color on the grille itself. And, of course, you've got the fog lamps on the front. Now, so far as the interior goes, and there's a nice shot of that vehicle there. I kind of like that color, too. Color is very popular. You've got 8-way power driver seats. You've got tilt and scope steering wheel. Power rear window. So on the back of just before the bed of the truck, the power rear window does go up and down. Heated steering wheel, remote start, distance pacing feature, which is always nice to have, and it kind of goes into the
autonomous
feature,
driving.
right? The feature we had before, which was a scary statement that you said, where you've got young folks, new drivers in these Tesla vehicles. That was kind of scary for me. Easy to use touchscreen. So the touchscreen, everything is available from the cockpit that you're in.
Ding.
Ding. Getting to the power sources of this vehicle, the engine is a 3.5-liter, 212 cubic inch displacement direct injection. He's making up for it. 280 horsepower at 6,000 RPM with a 262 foot-pounds of torque at 4,700 RPM, and it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. You're getting in the city right at 18 miles per gallon, 25 on the highway, 21 combined with a 19.5-gallon fuel tank. You've got the ride and handling is a multi-link suspension, 4-wheel disc, and a lock. Maximum towing is 5,000 pounds, which is good. Rear window sway, rear front and rear sway bars, not rear window. 245/60R 18 wheel tires and on an 18 by 7.5 alloy wheel. 30 to 40 grand for the vehicle. That's based on condition and miles. 3 recalls for this unit. One of them was equipment, which is on the seatbelt side.
He called it a unit. Did you hear him say that?
I said unit. And it's a big unit. Equipment was the seatbelts. Fuel system had an issue, a recall. And then, of course, the seatbelts back to it again were rivets. They had a rivet problem. So we all do logos. We like the logos. And, of course, the Honda, if we could get to that, it's perfect.
Oh, I just had them there, too.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Japanese, Subaru Honda, founded Honda in 1946, which...
Securo.
Yeah.
Was his first name?
Well, we call him Mr. Honda.
Mr. Honda.
That's easier to say.
Okay.
His beginnings, humble beginnings, he was an actual mechanic, and he made piston rings, and he sold them to Toyota. That's how he got his start. And then after World War II, the factory was blown up. He sold the remnants and all the good stuff to Toyota. And you'll see there on it once Conrad gets back to it.
What are you doing over there, Conrad? Conrad's controlling the video.
Well, Mars, I asked for a longer pause.
Never mind. That's too
we
much
go.
information.
There's
There you
your
go.
logos. Here
There's
comes
the logo.
Needless to say,
the
but-
in-wheel time logo.
Okay, just to get back to it, the logo is a capital H, which refers to the name of the company, and it's from the founder.
It's not two guys shaking hands.
No. That's a Hyundai. But if you look at the actual H, the top portion of the H is spread out wider than the bottom, so that makes the Honda logo.
Oh my God.
But if you wanted the Acura, they reversed it. They put the top of the H together to make the Acura symbol. It's the same Honda vehicle. One
Give
is
me
spread
that.
open
Give me
and
that.
one
Give
is
me that away from him. He's driving us nuts.
on the motorcycle side, they put wings. The Honda put the wings on it. So that would be the differentiation of the Honda car, the Acura, and then, of course, the motorcycle.
And the motorcycle didn't have a cockpit.
That did not. The end.
The In-Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. The In-Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this brief message.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family, too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In-Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today, coming to you from Studio A in Texas, USA.
All right.
Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin in the corner where he belongs. Well, we need more Jeff. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. We thank you very much. We had a kind of a rough, some had a rough night with the weather. Others, like me, didn't have so much of a rough night. It's a beautiful day outside. Get outside and enjoy it.
But we're having a rough internet process here today, so forgive us on the internet.
Joining us now, Melvin Bautista with Hyundai, and talk about the all-new Santa Cruz CUV. Melvin, how are you? Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, Mel.
I'm doing great. How are you? How are you guys?
Well, we're doing fine. Thanks so much. So the Santa Cruz, a new vehicle for Hyundai?
Yes, it is. It is an all-new vehicle that we're really looking to establish a new segment, and we're calling it, the world's first sport adventure vehicle.
So tell us a little bit more about it. Size, powertrain, what should we know?
Yeah, so, I'll start off with saying, we're very proud that the vehicle was designed in California. We did a bunch of extensive testing in North America, and it's also going to be built in the United States. And what it is, we've positioned it as kind of a lifestyle CUV with an open bed for more utility and versatility. But it is built on a unibody, platform and, with a rear multi-link suspension. So really gives it, a unique kind of drive experience in the body of a pickup truck in many people's eyes. So it starts off with a standard 2.5-liter normally aspirated engine with roughly about 190 horsepower. But what's really exciting is we offer a 2.5-liter turbocharged engine that's, about 280 horsepower with a little bit over 310 pound-feet of torque. So really fun to drive, and that's mated to our dual-clutch transmission. And it really gives, really great driving experience when you compare it, with that turbocharged engine. Size-wise, it's a little bit smaller than some of the mid-size pickup trucks like the Tacoma and the Ridgeline. However, it's very capable. It has a max towing capacity of 5,000 pounds, so it is a capable vehicle. But yeah, really, really excited to bring this on.
So, Melvin, I have to ask you, this is kind of like the Honda Ridgeline, or I don't know whether you're old enough to remember, but Subaru actually built a kind of a thing called a Subaru Baja. So it's kind of a cross into that category. Does it compete? Would you say does it compete with the Chevy Colorado and the Ford Ranger? Is it in that category?
It is. We know, it's such a great segment where people are looking at the mid-sized trucks. But really, I think the focus for us was really providing, the exterior kind of modern look design to it. But yes, as you get inside the vehicle, when you're actually sitting in it, driving in it, it really feels like an SUV. And I think, with the popularity of CUVs in the market today, it puts us in a unique position. But yes, I think at the end of the day, customers are going to look at both. But, obviously with the open bed, we've had a lot of innovation and a lot of unique features that we've added on there for someone, that wants to be in the CUV and, wants that open bed utility.
Does it share a platform with any of the others, any of the other Hyundais that you have in the lineup?
Yes. So we actually launched the all-new Tucson, not too long ago, and it's basically the same platform as the Tucson, but it is a little bit stretched and a little bit wider. So it's a revised platform of the Tucson, but yes, it does share it.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a great vehicle. I've always been a big fan of Hyundai, and I guess what drew me to Hyundai, not only the great designs, but the price point always seems to hit home runs with everybody that I know somebody that just bought a brand new Hyundai a couple of weeks ago. I mean, they're popular vehicles, and they're priced right for the American market.
Yes, and I think, our company has really come a long way over the last couple of decades. But yes, there's such a big focus on design as well as reliability, and really, trying to put ourselves out there with a lot of these, high-tech features, high-tech safety high-tech safety features, and, really just, trying to put the customer first and trying to meet some of their demands when they're looking for a vehicle.
So, do we have a price point on this yet?
No, we do not. We're looking to be launching the vehicle around summertime. And, obviously a lot of the details and pricing and information like that will be available then.
So it's due for a summer release. Will the dealers actually have them by this summer, or are they just going to be available for order?
Yeah, pre-sale.
Where is it going to be built, and are you going to have problems with getting microchips?
No. So right now it is going to be solely built in our Alabama plant. And so it's basically going to be available to all dealers. I would say, late summer is when they'll start arriving, across the country. But yes, it will be there. And, as far as the chip shortage, I think every manufacturer is kind of going through this. We've had a little bit of a hiccup, although, the past year during the pandemic, we've actually been pretty successful. We had our best month ever in terms of overall sales last month. But we don't anticipate having any shortages for this particular vehicle.
Well, that's good to know, especially when you're starting off with a brand new vehicle and trying to get it out there for the public. I think it's going to be popular. I like the way it looks.
Oh, very much so. It's a segment breaker.
And it actually does remind me of the Subaru Baja. Remember that thing?
Yep.
And hugely popular. You can't afford one of those today if you could find one, because, they're very popular. And, I have to congratulate you. I have not driven it yet, clearly, but we're certainly hoping that we'll be able to drive that very soon. And we sure appreciate you taking the time, Melvin, talking to us today. It's the all-new Santa Cruz, and I don't know, you call it a crossover utility, but it's kind of a pickup truck because it's got a bed in the back of it.
It's just a utility.
Just a utility.
Just a utility. Well,
seat 5 people and haul junk in the back.
We our whole marketing. So what we're really, sport adventure vehicle. We're really targeting, the person that lives in the urban type area, but really likes to get outdoors and offer that ruggedness feel to also the comfort of making the long drive out of the city. Really excited about this vehicle. Long time coming.
Well, we look forward to it. Thanks so much. Stay in touch with us, and we'll hope to talk to you soon. That's Melvin Bautista with Hyundai talking about the Santa Cruz, the new pickup truck.
Well, he's just calling it the action adventure utility.
It's a damn pickup truck. It's got a bed in the back of it. You call it whatever you want to.
Ford had one. Didn't Ford have one like that years ago?
Yeah, the Ranchero.
No. It was like an Escape with a cutoff.
No, was it an Escape or was it a?
It's something of that nature.
Yeah. It was
Sport Track.
Explorer Sport Track.
There you go.
That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Zekin, the used car guru.
There you go.
That's it.
Jeff is
Pre-owned.
used and abused.
And boozed. Well, he is that.
That was last night.
Woo. I want everybody to know that we are going to be at the Houston Summer Auto Show, and we are going to be there. It runs actually May 19th through the 23rd. We're going to be there on Friday, noon. Was it a 3-hour show, Mike, or are we going to do 4?
Yes.
3 hours. So we're going to it's a special broadcast, and we're going to be there on that Friday, the 21st.
Noon to 3.
21st? 19, 20, 21. Yeah. The 21st
This year.
from noon to 3 this year.
So,
Yep,
so
you know,
tune in and
tune
follow us, and we'll pop
Tune
up on
in
your
and
Facebook.
drop out.
Ear.
Just wanted to bring that up.
Hopefully, our video control is much better by then.
What happened with that?
Next weekend, we're going to be
Keels and
where?
Wheels.
That's right.
Keels and wheels.
And I'm bringing my fishing pole.
The Ferrari
Your
versus
cane pole.
Ford versus Ferrari. They're going to have the movie cars there,
Yep.
as well as Carroll Shelby's grandson and Miles's grandson as well.
Yes.
So how cool is that going to be?
You think they have a bait shop set up for me?
Yeah, it's right down the street.
Okay.
Uh-huh. You can get all the bait that you want.
Smell like dead worms.
Oh, no, minnows.
Minnows?
Dead minnows.
I'll have to master
No,
that.
you don't. They're not dead. You just kind of hook them through the eyes and you throw them in the water and they swim around. They just can't see where they're going.
Right. Yes, of course. You hook them through the eyes. I did remember that.
He mastered that.
I did master that.
Okay, there's got to be more to the story here.
There is. There is. But we don't want to go there.
Yeah, seriously.
Uh-huh.
One of the things I did want to mention is Henry Howard told us that the Texas Hurdle Cruise-In is going to be next Saturday.
The what?
Or
The hurdle cruise in.
Yeah, that's this Saturday. I'm sorry. Today it starts at 11 o'clock to 4 p.m., sponsored by the Space City Mustangs, and that's at the Texas Hurdle Grill down in Challenger Plaza in Clear Lake.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
The Hurdle Grill?
Yeah.
Hurdle Grill. It's a football place.
Mm-hmm.
Sports bar.
Gotcha.
But they're going to start a cruise. They're going to have a cruise in there.
Very cool.
Pretty. Yeah.
Hurdle. Not huddle, but hurdle.
Well, it might be Huddle. It said Huddle in one spot, Hurdle in the other.
Oh, good Lord. Did Mars
So I
type
went-
that out for you?
No, Henry did.
Okay.
It said Hurdle in one spot and Huddle in the other, and I thought Hurdle made more sense. but
Hurdle?
maybe not. Huddle?
Yeah, I would like to
Poodle?
say it. The huddle would probably
huddle,
make more
okay.
sense.
Oh, my. Info at inwheeltime.com.
Yes. Yeah. Info at inwheeltime.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And we'll have-
as you're tuning out the show today, we just wanted to remind you of that you can send your hate mail to info at inwheeltime.com.
Jeff at inwheeltime.com.
Now,
Jeff,
matter of fact,
Hey, I'll reply.
why don't you send it to?
You better not.
let's
No, you're not going there.
Boy, we will lose control.
I will.
We've already lost control. We
I will
never
reply.
had control from
Not
the very
today,
beginning.
not today. Well, we haven't had a good internet, so
I know, that's
people
the-
haven't got all of our bad jokes
But they
because
don't-
it went in the middle. And then the time delay on Zoom, it's like a 7-second time delay. You ask them a question and you listen to dead air for 7 seconds. But,
I actually came in yesterday and set up the studio, and it.
so it's your fault.
Yeah. It fell apart at 20.
Well, I have to tell
22.
you. So we had a similar problem 2 weeks ago when we were in the studio last. I went through all sorts of hurdles from the cockpit,
Or huddles.
and yes, to get the internet fixed.
But you
so the Xfinity guy, who I could barely understand, I don't know where he was speaking to me from. Kind of like our guest, you talk to them and then you wait 7 seconds to hear their answer.
Except he was talking for it sounded like he was in a Jack in the Box drive-through.
One of those kind of things. And he says, you need a new Wi-Fi modem. Okay. Well, I'll go down to the store. I went down to the store and got a replacement modem. Okay, I did that. Brought it home. Bingo, it starts working.
Beautiful.
It's worked for a week and a half.
Nice.
Flawlessly.
Until we walked in the
Until
door.
you walked into the door this morning and it stopped working.
No, it's because he took his shirt off when he walked in.
He still has his shirt off. Matter of fact, while you guys
Go do the laundry.
while you guys do that, I'm going to go and get the laundry.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and because Conrad
So-
had something on the front of his shirt this morning, and Jeff made the comment, "Well, get Armstrong to do it. The laundry's right there." Okay, so I went out there and I washed it once, and the stain wouldn't come out.
Oh, they're oil stains. I know what they are. They're.
I'm not going to go there.
Is
but
that what you young kids are calling it now?
Yes.
Here, let me have some jelly beans
So-
while I run and get.
There you
But
go.
calendar of events next Saturday. Again, we're going to be at Keels and Wheels at the 25th anniversary Concours d'Elegance. They're going to have 200 plus cars and about 70 to 80. Just get right in front of the camera, Tom. About 70 to 80 boats. And if you're into the Chris Craft, the old wooden boats and stuff, it's definitely worth coming to. They generally have a number of large yachts as well, 5, 10, 15 large yachts that people let you come on board, but you have to ask permission. Permission to come aboard, permission granted. Take your shoes off, and you can walk around and check out their yacht. It's really pretty cool. It's well worth the trip to go to.
I want to go below deck.
Okay, and then on also on May 1st, if you're on the north side of town, the second annual Spring Town Center Car Show at 21440 Kirkendall Road in Spring, which is up there near the Grand Parkway in Kirkendall. Also on the 1st is Crawfish and Cars from 12 to 2 at Second Baptist Church out in Katy. That's 5757 Katy Freeway. And then the June 3rd, and this is going to tie into Conrad's Corner today, the 19th annual Ed Big Daddy Roth Rat Fink reunion.
Awesome.
In Manatee, Utah.
When is that? What's the date?
Manatee, Utah.
Yeah, M-A-N-T-I. Manatee, Utah.
What date?
June 3rd through June 5th.
Okay.
And that's all in recognition of Ed Big Daddy Roth, and we'll hear a lot more about that here when my next segment comes up. And we're going to next listen to Don eat jelly beans.
No, you're not. I'm going to turn the microphone off, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy listening to Conrad's Car Clinic.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wanted to switch this over so he could put his shirt on.
No, it's okay. I'll do it like this.
He'll have to do that later because we need the Car Clinic right now.
So 2 weeks ago was the recognized Ed Roth, Big Daddy Ed Roth, and the Rat Fink organization on the history. So I kind of looked into it a little bit more and read a lot more about Big Daddy Ed Roth. Actually very collectible through the years, these pieces. In 1968, when Mattel introduced the Hot Wheels, Ed Roth's Beatnik Bandit was one of the first 16 die-cast toys of the Hot Wheels collection, and now is worth, in mint condition, thousands of dollars.
My favorite shirt of Rat Fink, on the back, the saying is, "The more I learn about women, the more I like my car."
But as Roth aged, in 1969, he was lecturing at Brigham Young University's Museum of Art, and he had a class there that he'd lectured for years, and then Roth passed away April 4th of 2001, and since his death, the official Rat Fink reunion has been held in Manti, Utah, the first weekend in June, and that's what we opened up this segment with.
Yep.
So quite a lot of history
Good stuff.
to Ed Roth.
That's great.
You know, real impact on the custom car culture.
I remember it well. Yeah, it was huge because that was at the beginning of my coming out party for cars, and that
and the red pumps.
And the red pumps. That's right. And
that was a different coming out party.
And I built models. Included some of the Rat Fink type characters.
They're real popular.
Well, the Autorama. That's where I'm picking up the shirts. But his grandson is the one that has the booth at the Autorama, and I see him every year.
Oh wow! Okay.
Time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. General Motors on Tuesday launched a new remote work standard dubbed "Work Appropriately" to reflect adjusted workplace expectations post-pandemic. Who dreams this stuff up?
Some executive at General Motors.
The new guideline is designed to give employees the flexibility to work from wherever they are most efficient, GM said, and it gives the automaker access to a broader talent pool beyond its office locations.
Still have to wear a shirt and tie above the waist, but you can be sitting there in your flannel underwear below the waist.
Who decides what's efficient and what's not?
The worker does.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not everything's very efficient at General Motors.
Apparently.
The Alliance for Automotive Innovation has proposed 5 recommendations to keep the new car assessment program current by evaluating and rating new and advanced safety and performance features in today's vehicles. Number 1, regularly updating the program by identifying new safety technologies that could be included in the rating system. This is so government. Engaging annually with stakeholders to provide information on R&D efforts and gain insight on future technologies and technical challenges. Somebody gets paid to write this and dream this stuff up.
Somebody gets paid to do those jobs.
Somebody probably got a bonus for that one.
Hey, we're not supposed to eat steak
And
anymore.
I'm not getting paid to read it. Maintaining a consistent 3-year review and update cycle for the program that considers other safety rating programs such as Euro NCAP, NCAP, and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's Top Safety Pick Awards, conducting periodic reviews of the program's effectiveness and prioritizing rulemaking to remove regulatory barriers related to advanced technology that could hinder innovation. That's what we think of that story.
Well, you said government. The government says we're not supposed to eat hamburger or steak anymore.
Can you imagine? This poor girl named Audrey LaForest at Automotive News had to write this piece. Somebody in some editorial meeting went, "Would you write us a piece on this?" And here I am tearing it up.
And she got paid to do it.
And she did get paid to do it.
So did you hear that Chevron is building a strategic alliance with Toyota of North America to develop a large-scale hydrogen-powered infrastructure here in the United States? So, you know, as Toyota, and a lot of the conversation from Toyota is EV cars can't be the future because we don't have the power grids to support that. And now here is Toyota getting in a strategic alliance with Chevron talking about hydrogen-powered cars, and that may be their reason for it.
They've done a couple of trucks, I believe.
Right.
And finally, Kia Motors is recalling 147,000 newer Soul and Seltos vehicles because the piston oil rings in some of their engines might not have been adequately heat treated. According to a document filed with NHTSA, improperly treated piston oil rings could cause engines to stall, increasing the risk of a crash.
Sounds like
oil could also leak onto hot exhaust components, increasing the risk of a thermal event.
Sounds like the devil made them do it because they're recalling your soul.
Oh,
ba-dum-ching.
Ba-dum-ching.
I need a rim shot.
There you do.
Oh, my God.
When I get home, I'll give you one.
Why wait?
You know, I've just developed this very sick headache. In-wheel time continues after this.
Owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In-Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In-Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, this is the In-Wheel Time Car Show. Keels and Wheels is a week away. We talked to Tommy Heyman. Mr. Mars reviews the redesigned 2021 Ford F-150.
All right.
We'll have your weekly events calendar and give you the stories making auto news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In-Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, April 24th, 2021. Don't write me any notes. Do not hand that to me. I'm not going to listen to it. Now,
I'm not going to listen to your note.
Now he's even finishing your notes.
Hi, along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong, he's Jeff Zekin, and I'm not anybody. So time now to talk about Keels and Wheels, because we're going to be there next Saturday. Early before the gates open, and we're going to be there for. It's going to be a 4-hour show next week, and
you know that?
we sure hope that we can get on the air. That's all I could say.
If Mike remembers to bring the
hotspot,
and we get a good Wi-Fi connection.
They had to fix us up so far.
Here's what we had. So a couple of weeks ago, we had internet problems. So we discussed the Wi-Fi hotspot that Mr. Mars has. So it was decided that Mr. Mars would always bring the hotspot with him, put it in his backpack. That's what he said. So we go today, and we go to the internet, and the internet's not working.
Well,
so we're doing this show on a hotspot.
Through my phone.
Through my phone.
Your phone.
Your phone.
Yes. And so, well, how's that worked out for you today? Not so well. Because Mr. Mars didn't bring the hotspot in his backpack.
I put it in the truck so that it wouldn't be forgotten.
But it wasn't in the backpack.
But we are adaptable, and that's why we're here.
And we're good, huh?
Let's talk about Keels and Wheels.
Let's talk about Keels and Wheels. And we have Tommy Heyman on the line with us. Tommy, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Well,
nice to be with you.
Well, nice to be with you, too. And we're sorry that you had to put up with all of that. But guess what? We're going to be bringing all of this right out there to Keels and Wheels at your front door. So you better get used to it, Tommy.
We're going to be all up in it.
But what a great show you got planned out there.
I'm used to it.
I know you are, because we know people that you know, so you got to be used to it by now. We know that it's going to be a Ford versus Ferrari kind of theme to next week's Keels and Wheels, and you know, Keels and Wheels is a unique car show in these parts because we have lots of car shows, a lot of cruise-ins and that sort of thing, but this car show is different in the fact that it is a by invitation only car event, and just by that nature alone makes it different because you guys bring cars in that generally have not been to Keels and Wheels before, right?
Yes, sir. We try to bring new cars in every year. We stretch out all over the United States, bringing our cars and boats to our classic boat and car show, Concours de Leon. It is it's quite interesting. We've had because of the pandemic, we had even more people make application, and we had over 300. We can only take about 200 cars and about 75 or 80 boats. So we had a lot of applicants this year, and it was very difficult to pick the right cars.
So, Tommy, how did you go about picking the cars? I mean, is it by committee, or you got one guy or two guys? Well, how does that work?
Well, I head up the committee. We have 4 on the committee, the Automobile Acceptance Committee, and we go over the cars together. We look at an outside picture of the car, an interior picture of the car, a picture of the motor, and a description of the car. And if we need additional pictures, we ask the owners to send in additional pictures. We want to get the creme de la creme, the best of the best for our show.
And you typically do. You know, we've been there a number of years, and you guys really bring out some real cream of the crop cars. And I know the Peterson Museum from Los Angeles sends at least one car every year to the show, and those are some of the finest cars that are staged in a museum that they'll truck on out here for the show. And I'm assuming Peterson's going to have a car in the show again this year.
Yes, sir, they do. We have an old Packard that's coming in from out of state. We have, of course, our feature cars are going to be the movie cars. We've got the movie cars that were in Ford versus Ferrari. We have the Ford GT that Ken Miles drove. We also have the Ferrari that was in the movie, and the Ferrari was actually a speed car. It wasn't just there for looks, and neither was the GT40. They were actually real cars that were in the speed scenes.
Oh, wow.
So this is going to be very interesting. We have those cars, plus we have a Cobra coming that Carol Shelby's grandson, Aaron Shelby, bought after the movie. All those movie cars were sold, and we have 3 of the movie cars that are going to be with us that are going to be shipped in. So it's going to be quite exciting. We're going to have a reinsurgence of Ford versus Ferrari, which no other concourse in the country is attempting to do this year.
And then you have your featured marks, which are pre-war Packards, 53 to 72 Corvettes, 48 to 73 Porsches. Usually you guys have a pretty fair collection of vintage motorcycles. And then the featured boat this year is Century boats and Yellow Jacket boats. And really want to invite people to come out and look at that, because if you are into those pre-60, mid-50s, and earlier wooden boats, you'll never see a better collection of them in the water, and some of them on the dock as well.
You're exactly right. These boats are unbelievable. I've always been the wooden boats have always been my favorite. I've never owned one, but I catch myself. I spend more time looking at the boats than I do the cars because I'm into the cars so much. But the boats are absolutely fantastic coming in. You'll see them in the water. Our harbor is just lined with all the wooden boats, and it's an event that you can't see anywhere else in the United States. There are small boat shows and other concourses that have less than 100 cars in it, but we're the best of the best. We have the largest number of cars and the largest number of boats, and you come and join us, and you see both right there in a gorgeous setting of the Lakewood Yacht Club.
And that as you drive into the property at Lakewood, just all of those beautiful trees build such a beautiful canopy and offer such wonderful photographic opportunities for people that want to come in and see. And I'm assuming that's generally one of the places where you put the featured marks. So I'll assume that's probably where a lot of the pre-war Packards will be staged as well. Am I correct?
Yes, they will be in the wood, in the oak trees. The oak trees are magnificent, very aged oak trees, green grass. The cars among the oak trees is a setting that no one else has in the United States. Most of the other concourses are offered on a golf course of some kind. Ours are right in the yacht club with the trees and the surrounding area. It is a big boom to the Clear Lake area, as well as we have one of the only concourses that have it in a private club, such as the Lakewood Yacht Club.
And Tommy, it's only a 2-day, it's a Saturday, Sunday event only, correct?
Yes, sir. We start off Saturday morning. The cars and boats will be coming in on Friday. We'll have those in place. The shows opens early Saturday morning, ends at 5 o'clock on Saturday evening. We have a function Saturday night. We have Sunday morning, we begin at 9 o'clock and the show ends at 4 o'clock. Award presentations for the automobiles late Sunday afternoon. It's quite an affair.
How much are tickets to get in, and are they available online?
Yes, sir. The tickets online are available. You can purchase tickets online for $30. At the gate, the tickets are $40. It's very easy to go online at Keels and Wheels and purchase the tickets. We hope a lot of people will have a big turnout. And we have transportation from different parking lots up and down NASA Road 1 and Highway 146 because we don't have the facility to park all the people that come in the Lakewood area. We only have 37 acres there at Lakewood. So we have shuttle services that'll pick you up at the lots and take you right to the gate, pick you up at the gate, take you right back to your cars. We make it very convenient for anybody and everybody.
And we're going to be there live Saturday morning.
Yeah, going to be there from 8 until noon on Saturday. And I know that the show doesn't open, I don't think, until 10, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're going to be there until noon. So we invite everybody to stop by, say hello, take a picture of you.
Get an autograph of Don Armstrong and Jeff Zekin, our musician and our broadcasting Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, let me ask you now, you've got another association on more of a personal level with the Ford GT, right?
Well, I own a Ford GT. You may be able to, you can see it in the back of the picture you're taking of me.
Yep.
I have a 2017 Ford GT. We raced with Carroll Shelby in the 60s, a GT 350, number 108R. Aaron Shelby is a very close friend of mine, and our guest at Keels and Wheels is Aaron Shelby, the grandson of Carroll Shelby. My dad and Carroll Shelby were very close friends. We raced with him in the 60s. Peter Miles, the son of Ken Miles, is coming all the way from California to be with us. He's never been to Houston before, so we're excited to have him join us as our ambassadors, he and Aaron Shelby. It's going to be, they will be signing autographs 2 times a day on Saturday and twice on Sunday. Get a chance to visit with the fans. Peter is quite a gentleman. He's we're excited about having him. I met him when he was very young at a race at Green Valley in Dallas, and I haven't seen him in 57 years, so I'm excited to see him again.
Oh, how cool is that?
Now, aren't you also, when we were talking, didn't you say you were working with Ford in regard to the GT?
Well, I got an early Ford GT. They wanted a car in Houston. I got a call from Edsel Ford. I applied like everybody else did. 3,700 applicants for the new Ford GT. I got a call from Edsel Ford, and I was a retired Ford dealer in Texas City. I'd been retired about 8-9 years, and They called me and asked me if I would be interested in one of the first GTs after the production of the executive cars came out. So my car is serial number 045, which was actually the 23rd car built in 2017. Along with Aaron Shelby's GT, they came in together. They were the first two cars delivered south of the Mississippi and the first two Ford GTs in Texas. So my car is coming up on 4 years old, July 24th. So I was very fortunate. I was blessed to get chosen to own one of the Ford GTs, number one. I have one of one in American Racing, white with a blue stripe, blue calipers, blue interior. Of the 138 that were built the first year in 17, mine is one of one. My concierge would not duplicate the car. She wanted me to have one of one. So I'm very blessed.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah.
How many miles do you have on it?
I have 4,200 miles on it, and I drive it wherever I go. I don't trailer it unless we're going out of state to a show.
What do you want for
I
it?
had to commit.
Nothing. It's not for sale.
I'm thinking about selling it, to be honest with you. I've had it 4 years. My pleasure is to share it with other people. I've had the privilege in 4 years of buying little model cars and having young kids stand up in front of it, holding their cars up in front of them, and have their dad take their picture with my car. And that's been a very big thrill for me, because those kids will never forget that picture that was taken with that Ford GT.
That's right.
Cool.
I represented Ford as the ambassador for the Ford GT as well as the Ford GT Forum in the Houston Gulf Coast area for the last 4 years. And my business card says that. Edsel Ford told me, you put anything you want to on that business card. You're representing us very well.
Well, that's good. Congratulations.
That's pretty cool to get that kind of recognition from the management at Ford. And your time as a Ford dealer, when did you start as a Ford dealer?
Well, my dad, we started in the Ford business. I was the dealer principal in Texas City for 38 years. We were in the Ford business 58 years totally. My dad was in World War II with Carroll Shelby. He was a pilot trainer along with Carroll Shelby. My dad met Carroll Shelby at the New York Auto Show in 1962 and became the first Shelby dealer in the state of Texas in 63, the second dealer in the United States. They just hit it off, and our relationship went from there. And I had that relationship up until Carroll Shelby passed away. I was at the Peterson Museum at his memorial service, and 7 or 8 years ago met his grandson. Carroll was very specific about his family. He didn't talk much about his family. I met Aaron and his brothers, two brothers, at the memorial service, and picked up the relationship and have had the relationship with the Shelby family for a long, long time. I still have all of Carroll Shelby's cell phone numbers in my phone. He went wild when cell phones were invented. He called every week, all his friends, to be able to cover the United States and know what was going on in the automobile business. He was quite a gentleman.
Well, what a blessing it was to get to know Carroll, and also to be selling Fords in your family through that generation as Mustang was released and all the fun toys Ford released through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and being a part of that. How cool was that?
I was blessed to come up at the right time. I was young. I was a teenager in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and I was blessed to be raised in the Ford business. I don't know much about any other brands, so I have to let my other members of my selection team pick the Corvettes, because I'm not that familiar with the Corvettes. I know the Fords, but not much about any other. I was raised in a Ford family, so I bleed blue.
Are you going to have your GT out there next weekend?
Yes, sir. It will be there. It will be there, as well as I have a brand new Ford GT Mark II, which is the race version of the new Ford GT. I have a doctor friend that's bringing it all the way from Dallas, Texas. It will be on display also. We also will have another car that just came into Texas. It's the first one delivered to Texas, a liquid carbon edition of the mark of the Ford GT, and it has no paint on it. It's all liquid carbon, which has about twice the labor to perfect that car and deliver it. It's being wrapped as we speak in clear wrap to protect it, and it will be at our show. And it, in the sunlight, looks like a diamond. All the lines of the, if you're familiar with the carbon fiber, all the lines match up on the car. And the delivery specialist told me that this car is probably close to perfect when it came out of the factory.
Unbelievable. And is that going to be over there with the Ford GT display that you've got set up?
Yes, we have the movie cars in a tent. In front of the movie car tent, we will have all of the Ford GTs, and we will have Ferraris. We have 15 or 16 Ferraris that are entered in the show that will be all displayed in that same area of the movie cars. So we're putting them all together, Ford versus Ferrari, and they will all be judged. Of course, the movie cars won't be judged, but all the entries will be judged, and we'll have the best of the best. It will be something that no one or no other concourse can brag about, because we're the first ones to do it. We are the first concourse to have, since we were put off last year and had to cancel our show last year. This is our 25th anniversary. Bob Fuller and Paul Merriman put the cars and the boats together 25 years ago. We're honoring them and honoring Ford versus Ferrari.
Well, I know it's going to be a great show. And one of our guests that we've lined up through Bay Area Houston Magazine is Billy Stabile, who is the supplier of all of the cars for Ford versus Ferrari. He's going to be there, and he's going to be at least I have him scheduled as our first guest at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. So it's going to be I had a chance to speak with him briefly. And what a long storied career he has with his dad, who started the business out in Hollywood, supplying cars to the movie business. For instance, he supplied the cars to American Graffiti. He also supplied the cars to Knight Rider. That's a long story. It's truly amazing to talk to him, because how the cars are made, where he has them made, if they need to be made, how he acquires them, what he has in his own personal collection, along with the cars that he's got in his warehouse. So that's going to be a great vehicle
for the kids to do, too.
Whether you're into cars or not, this is an event that you really want to go to.
Well, and if you're into cars and you're anywhere in or can get to the Houston area, go there. This is definitely going to be a bucket list event.
I'm going to need to get a fishing license.
Yes, and that cane pole. Can you buy cane poles at Academy?
I think so. Yeah.
They got cane poles?
I'll just go out to the tree and make one.
Well, they're knocking down a tree next door, so just go over there. All right, time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has a look at the 2021 Ford F-150.
And the one that we happen to have to look at is, in particular, the Lariat trim level. And it's a Super Crew 4x4. And, Ford, the F-150 really is the best-selling vehicle for the last 43 years. It's a full-size pickup that we're talking about. And one of the reasons that makes it so successful, I believe, is because it's got a little bit of everything for everybody. You can have this vehicle in 6 different trim levels.
Wow.
And after that, you can pick out of 3 different cab styles. And then you can pick 3 different bed lengths. And then you can pick part of 6 powertrain combinations. So there's a lot of variables there that you can put together to get a vehicle that's going to do what you want to do.
You can't do that with a car.
No.
Seriously, the cabs, the beds, and all of the engines. Yeah. Where else can you do that?
So you can physically order this. You can physically pick and choose what you want from a dealer.
This is what you want. Yeah. You may have a little trouble finding the exact combination you want
on the lot.
This is what's available.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy. So for this year, though, they've got a new front grille design, and you're going to find the automatic headlamps, the fog lights, and coming down the side, you're going to see that the power folding mirrors that are heated. And since we had the FX4 package sitting on top of this, we've got the off-road. So we've got the skid plates. We've got the little bit higher elevation in it. We've got some power running boards that extend out to make it a little bit easier to get up inside the cab. And we were rolling on some nice 18-inch blacked-out wheels. That's become pretty popular right now. This vehicle that we had also had the power tailgate. So you could push the button in the dash, the tailgate would slowly lower itself down. I'm waiting on them to figure out how to make it close itself.
Nice,
nice
cockpit.
Yeah. One of the interesting things on the tailgate, this one that we had the optional work surface on it. So when you drop the tailgate down on the inside, like on the bed liner, there's a ruler there. There's some recessed places that'll hold some tools to keep them sliding around. So it makes it real nice for working. Now you go into the interior of this vehicle. We happen to have the black leather bucket seats up front. They were heated. They were ventilated. We had the 60/40 fold-up seat in the rear. And we had some nice features that it seems like everything's moving up. One of the things a few years ago I was a little disappointed in Ford's interior, but they've really stepped it up. So on this Lariat package, which is a mid-trim level, you can actually get the adjustable pedals, the adjustable to where you can raise and lower the pedals on it that used to be on the high ends only. Got some ambient lighting. Again, something that used to be on the high end, and they've kind of brought it down into the mid-level. We also had the 12-inch production screen in the center of the dash there. And this is where you're going to find your Sync 4. You're going to find the 360-degree camera package and all your convenience controls on it. And again, mid-level trim, this is some features that I think Ford's really done well in bringing it from the upper levels down into the lower trim packages.
And that's a good-looking center stack. It's not overly busy with buttons, and the screen's well-placed.
And it works well.
And it looks integrated into the dash as opposed to stuck on top like an iPad.
And we also had the interior work surfaces. Now, this is the one where you can actually fold the shifter down, and it creates like a little table in there. And we had the B&O sound, the Bang & Olufsen. I've been practicing this week.
Yay.
I practiced.
Bang & Olufsen.
Yes, and it sounded really good. And there's a shot of the shifter, how it's folded down, and then you can create that table to kind of lay things out there for a work surface on it. Now, up under the hood, because this is the Super Crew 4x4, you need a little juice. So we had the 3.5-liter V6 EcoBoost. Now, this is 400 horsepower.
Twin turbo,
400 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque, which is, to me, out of a V6 is pretty amazing. It's backed by a 10-speed automatic, and whenever you set off in it and you step off in it, it will get it.
The alternator's on the bottom.
Continue.
There's a lot of things on there. So it's really got a lot of power. I was really impressed with it. Got EPA says 18 miles to the gallon in the city, 23 on the highway, 20 combined. I got close to 19 out of it because I had to do some research on it.
Because you stayed in boost.
Well, you got to see how well that works. It rides and drives very smooth. I was surprised at how smooth and quiet this vehicle rode. Now, if you want to look at something to compare it to, you're going to step over and look at the Chevrolet, the Silverado 1500, and the GMC Twins, maybe the Ram 1500. You can actually look at the Toyota Tundra as well because they're all in that half-ton category. Now, the vehicle we were looking at, the 2021 F-150 Lariat, the base price on our test vehicle was $50,980.
Wow.
Now, the MSRP is tested because we had a few little options, pushed it up to $68,250 as tested.
Just a few options.
Well, I mean,
$15,000 worth of.
So you're telling me that the Platinum would be $90,000?
Probably in that 80 to 90 range.
And then the King Ranch on top of that? Or
No.
Is
No, the King Ranch
is below the Platinum.
Yeah. Okay. But I was really impressed with some of the features they brought down, seems to me, like down off that Platinum King Ranch, and they're putting it into that Lariat, which is their mid-trim level. And I thought it worked out really well, a nice package.
Beautiful truck.
It is.
Drove good, too.
The end.
You know, I've discovered that the yellow jelly beans are the ones that taste like soap. Just saying.
Well, you did do laundry. And Conrad does look springtime fresh with his shirt.
He
smells springtime.
He smells
fresh.
good, too. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family, too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. It's In Wheel Time.
We win awards for this? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. The Down in the Dumps Award.
No.
Your weekly go-to all things automotive place, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get right to it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Joining us now, Mr. Richard Tomlin, Apex Auto Works. And Richard, it's good to see you, and thanks for joining us. Time now for our monthly SCCA update. And let's start off with the wrench rally, because the wrench rally is finally over and done with. How did it go? Give us the scoop.
Absolutely amazing. Only one ticket issued on the event. We donated 2 cars, provided one a live donation. We were able to be there for the donation Monday. So the vehicle was outfitted with a new rubber, new brakes, oil change, trans flush, detail, and we donated the car about noon Monday morning.
What kind of car was it?
That was a 2012 Dodge Caravan.
Oh,
nice.
Good family car.
I was following you on Facebook. I was watching some of the things y'all were doing.
Yeah, our Facebook feed was not as strong as we would like it to be. We do a bunch of the marketing and advertising through Roadster app, which is basically Facebook for cars only. So we're trying to figure out how we can interface the two together so we can reach. We had over 10,000 people following us on this rally.
Well, good luck, because Conrad got kicked off this week.
Uh-oh.
He's been a bad boy.
He says some pretty colorful things at times.
Yes, he does.
He's a colorful kind of guy.
I'm trying to be polite.
Are you?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess
So that was one car. What was the other car you got donated?
The other car we donated was a 2013 Chevy Sonic, and it was outfitted with hand controls for someone that would be in a wheelchair and not have use of their legs.
Oh, wow. How cool is that? So that was all coordinated
So
going in?
something a little different than what you normally get donated.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell everybody where
we're working with the charity in Phoenix.
Good.
We had the guest on, too.
Go ahead, Don.
I was just going to say, for those that don't know, explain to everybody what the wrench rally is, where it started, and where it ended.
Yeah, so wrench rally is basically a road trip with friends, is the easy way to put it. So we create teams of 4 people. You go out and you buy a car for a couple $1,000s, and then we road tripped them from Houston to Las Vegas over the course of 3 days. Went through some of the most amazing national parks I've ever seen. And we have kind of an adult scavenger hunt along the way, and you earn points based on what you find. When we get there, we crown a champion, and then we donate our cars and we fly home. And it's our way of giving back to those that need it more than we do. Most of us as mechanics don't exactly have a lot to offer, but we can buy a pretty cheap car, spend 3 days in it, make it very worthy of being donated to a single mother or single father that could use the vehicle to get to and from school or work.
Where did it start and where did it end?
Alvin to Las Vegas this time. So we started in Alvin at 7 a.m. Friday. We went to Midland day 1, left Midland day 2, and went to Gallup, New Mexico. Little trip through Roswell. Day 3, of course, was up through Zion National Park. Some people went to Grand Canyon, Horseshoe Bend, down into Las Vegas, and finished in Las Vegas on Sunday night. And we had people on the plane by 8 p.m. heading home. So it was a good 3-day run for sure.
Now, I was watching your final there in Las Vegas. You were kind of
1,800 miles.
Yeah, this delay is a mess.
We finished up at the Red Rock Hotel Casino, which was part of the Lone Survivor Foundation helping us out with that. We did the awards down on Fremont Street on a little place called Evil Pie. It's a pizza restaurant that is themed after Evel Knievel. So it seemed very fitting for what we were doing.
I did see
the most
that.
car-centered, motorcycle-centered event we could find.
You said been crowned with, and how did they become champion?
They were crowned with a homemade UFO because we went through Roswell, so it was only fitting. But the winning car was also one that was donated, so it was very fitting, that the cars that win are the ones that get donated. Our goal is to try and reach saturation of 100% being donated. We don't know that we'll get there. This one was pretty light, but we did have 2 teams that just donated cash. So we donated cash to the charities as well.
So I know your cars could score points on the route, extra points on the route for, I guess, kind of going off route and getting pictures of things. Because I want to say somewhere somebody was posting pictures of roadkill. And I want to say it was you.
Oh, there comes the roadkill discussion again. So we had an issue where we said if you can find an animal, X animal, like it was bison, deer, find a picture of it, you could actually submit that for points. And of course, we had a team that found a dead deer and submitted the picture. And we're like, well, okay, if you want to stop and take a picture with roadkill, sure, go ahead. We'll give you the same points as the live animal. And that has taken off and been some of the actual photos that have gone quite viral. This time we had 2 young men who laid down beside a skunk to take a picture, and I should have gotten you guys a copy of that one. It is breathtaking.
Oh,
ding, ding,
ding. There's the rim shot.
Very good. So who got the ticket, and what was the violation
very
for?
Bad. It's fresh.
Who got the
ticket? The officer. So it was one of the limousines we had in the group. So this is a early 90s limousine. They bought $1,500. This one completed the first rally, which was Seattle to Houston, pretty much a bonsai. And then we did Alvin to Vegas with the same car. Now, they were behind on day 2 and had made a wrong turn. They were in a very small town, small enough town that had a motorcycle cop, but he didn't have radar. And he just told them that they were speeding. Stopped them. They informed about the charity. He wrote him a ticket for 34 and a 30. So I will say they were doing faster than 34, but the officer was extremely nice to him. When you are nice to officers, good things happen to you.
Yep.
Generally speaking.
So true.
Yep. So this is your second one. Are you going to do a third one?
Yep, we've announced the date for the third one. It is October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. This one will be an East Coast run. We're letting the teams that have participated vote on where we'll run from, or teams that are interested in participating in the rally. They can pay their entry fee, and then they get to cast the vote as well. But we're looking at Detroit, Chicago, Philly, Norfolk, Virginia, and Myrtle Beach.
Is it still a four-person
So
team?
one of those cities will be chosen, and then we'll plan our route back to Alvin.
Still a 4-person team?
Sorry, Don was saying something.
Still going to do a
still
four-person
four-person
team?
teams. You can do it with less. The 4-person team kind of pushes people to get out of the 2-door vehicles. A lot of us like to buy the cheaper 2-door vehicles, but when you're doing the goal is to car to a single mom or a single father, the 4-door car makes way more sense.
Right.
So the next one in October is going to be, you're going to be driving into...
there were a couple 2-door teams this time.
Into Houston this time, as opposed to out from Houston.
Yeah, so we'll basically be flying. Let's just say that Philly gets picked. We'll buy a plane ticket. We'll fly to Philly. We'll run to Harbor Freight, buy a bunch of tools, and then we'll start shopping for cars. You'll have about 24 hours to buy a car, secure it, do your little upgrades that you're going to do, and then we hit the Raleigh Road the next morning at 7 a.m. and head south.
Hey, forget about it. I got a car for you.
Well,
So there'll be a couple of those.
Yeah, but that's a little different than this one. I mean, you know, by starting here in Houston, people had a little bit more opportunity to get the cars. This is more like your original one, where it's literally you got to go find you a car that's pretty much unknown.
Yeah, this one here, we actually had 4 of the 9 teams actually flew in and secured cars the day before, just like the original one when we went to Seattle.
Oh, wow.
We did have 2 teams from Seattle the first time that were locals and were able to secure their cars on site. So it forces people to get out of their comfort zone, move around a little bit. I want to say of the 39 participants we had, 27 of them are mechanics. So there wasn't much risk of something breaking that we couldn't get serviced or taken care of.
Well, let's shift gears and let's talk about the SCC update with Sports Car Club of America. What's going on there?
Super busy month, probably our busiest month of the year. We've got 5 events this month, only 1 weekend off. Starting out with this coming up weekend, we've got an event in Beeville. This is, again, one of the national tours. California is still under lockdown for large events, so they have moved one of the California events back here to Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you could do live remotes there and call in,
right?
and we could see your wares, as it were.
Tommy's GT's coming up for sale, so you can get that.
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah. And it's low mileage.
Yeah.
Right. Low mileage. What, $250,000?
More than that.
Yeah, I do need to get you guys down there for one of the SCCA events. We need to get Dawn on track and Yellow Corvette.
Well, I will tell you this, that I do have a set of older tires that will be for sale here probably in the next couple of weeks.
These are 10-year-old tires.
Yeah, 10-year-old tires that you could tear up. We don't care about
burn
that.
them off, yeah.
Burn the tires right off there.
For the low price of.
And if you do it right, you won't be destroying your tires. You'll be okay.
All right, well,
we
could do that too. No fun. Well, Richard, It's always great talking to you. You got a busy day going on down there at Apex?
What's that Ford in the background
Yeah, keep
there?
looking over your shoulder at that Ford Econoline.
Uh-huh.
Is that an Econoline back there?
Or is that one of the Econoline
Yes, it is.
trucks?
That's one we shot, painted about 16 years ago, and has found its way back for some new upgrades.
Nice.
We're pulling the 3 out of the tree, out of the car, putting an automatic into it, adding air conditioning, some touch-up on paint work as well.
Cool.
You've
got a second? Let me show you something real quick.
Yeah.
We did this week on paint work. We got a veteran that we've become friends with that is returning home for the first time in 9 years. And his father wanted something a little patriotic for him to put on his bike that was painted flat black before. But you won't be able to see a whole lot, but it
Nice.
is full-on candy flake.
Wow.
You were talking about Ed Roth earlier. This is exactly what Ed Roth would have done.
Yeah, you
It's
can
not
see the big
same
flake.
pinstriping to it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
All you need
And
is
then we've got a
all you need is
Go ahead.
Peter Fonda there.
yeah. Well, we got a
Easy
car show
Rider.
going on here in town, and we'll be down there for that here in a little bit as well. Take some stuff to go show.
The car show down there where you are?
Yeah, so Alvin, it's Freedom Days. So car show carnival. This morning it started about 8. Runs until 2 o'clock today. No admission fee at Live Oak National Park.
Okay.
Very cool.
Sounds good.
I don't know where he could put another car in that shop.
Oh, you could fit it in there.
Yeah. It's not.
No, not really, because if you go out,
that's a new resto.
yeah, if you go outside, he's got a pile of cars outside.
It's going to need a bigger building.
That's next year.
We're working on it.
Well,
working on it, guys. Working on it.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Richard. It's always good to talk to you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
All right. Richard Tomlin.
Have fun.
Apex Auto Works, SCCA, Ranch Rally, a little bit of everything. He's always got something going on. Hey, we'd like to hear from you, too, and you could do that just by shooting us an email.
Oh, boy.
That address is info@inwheeltime.com. Have I missed something from you? Did we go through everything of yours?
You've you've come in all the way through me, Don.
You know, I don't even want to go
like
there.
a bad chili dog.
Yeah, that's right. That actually sounds pretty good.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, my gosh.
I think I may have to go and grab me some chili dogs
Well,
today.
let me get a hold of Kathy and see if we can meet up there because I'm due for one. I can't eat them all the time because of health reasons, but yeah, I can moderate one.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the sodium factor that is not good for you.
Do you do the James Coney Island, or you have a different place?
No, James is good. Yeah.
I did want to give everybody an update in case you missed it earlier about some events that we've got. Of course, Keels and Wheels. We just got off the air with him just a little while ago, Tommy Heyman. So Keels and Wheels is next weekend. Come and see us. We'll be down at Keels and Wheels from 8 to noon doing our live show 8 to noon next Saturday.
Bring your pole.
Yeah, and bring your cane pole. Go fishing. Also, May the 19th through the 23rd, Houston Summer Auto Show at Reliance Center in place of the usual winter show.
Instead of the January show, now they're going to do it in May.
Well, this year. I think that they're going to try to get back to the January
they're
thing.
going to try and get back there. They just can't do it this year.
Now, if you want to get out of town next weekend and forget all of that, you can go over to Mobile International Speedway, race day over there.
Yep.
Gina Chalnell's new track. It'll be the first race of the season over there.
She posts a lot of things that are good.
May 29th is a race day at Houston Motorsports Park.
And I heard they were looking for some guardrails and grandstands, bleachers. So if anybody out there has any, you can contact us at info.
I got a whole pile of them here in the backyard. Don't
we'll
worry about
to
it.
set Gina up with it.
And don't forget, we're also going to be broadcasting from the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals, presented by Pennzoil down at Houston Raceway Park. And that is going to be in Baytown, May 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets online. And so there's lots going on. This is a very busy time of the year.
It is.
Car-wise. And if you can't find something to do, you call us.
And that weekend of May 21st through 23rd is going to be an automotive racing heavy weekend in Texas, because that's the same weekend at COTA.
Oh, it is.
But all the smart people will be at the NHRA race.
And then the week after that is Indy, isn't it? They run in Indy?
Yeah.
We assume.
Yeah, Memorial Weekend.
Yeah. And
I
then
think
my birthday.
they do it on Monday, don't they?
Yeah.
Only if it rains on Sunday.
Is the race on Sunday?
Races on Sunday.
Okay, I got you.
I was there one year that it rained on Sunday and it rained on Monday, and the race was on Tuesday.
And you had to fly back.
No, I didn't. At the time I was working for Oldsmobile. So on Tuesday when they had the race, there wasn't anybody there. So we were up in the finish line suites, enjoying the event. And an Oldsmobile crossed the finish line first because it finished under a yellow flag. And
What year was that? 1910?
No.
Because Oldsmobile's been out of business.
No, it was
80s?
87, 88.
Okay.
97 and 98. Got to remember, at one point, Oldsmobile was the choice engine at Indy cars when it was the Indy Racing League.
Yep. And I think it was A.J. Foyt that drove that Oldsmobile.
Aerotech.
Was that what it was? The Aerotech at 200 miles an hour or something crazy?
No, well, they set all kinds of time speed records out.
Was that the STP car, though? That was Granatelli.
No, that was Granatelli. Well, that was out at Fort Stockton where they ran that. Pretty cool event.
So let's do some news headlines, shall we? The Tesla Model S crashed into a tree near Houston Saturday night a week ago, and this was up in the Woodlands area. Burst into flames, killing 2 occupants, including William Varner, an anesthesiologist. It smashed into a tree, burst into flames, and also killed an occupant in the backseat. Witnesses told the police that the accident happened shortly after the victims left a house, saying they would test the automated driving capability. Texas police has told Reuters that it would seek search warrants to secure vehicle data after Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted that the automaker's data showed the vehicle was not operating on autopilot. But we talked to our contact at Consumer Reports who said it can. It can be operated.
And the data acquisition manufacturers have of these vehicles is a lot more complete than everybody knows.
Detailed.
Right.
Detailed.
OnStar is, I mean, if you're driving a GM vehicle, chances are somebody's looking at you.
Oh yeah, no, very, very clearly they're tracking everything that's going on, and it's lifetime communication between the vehicle and OnStar is sold as OnStar in General Motors, but it's sold as other brand names through other manufacturers.
Didn't they look at that in Tiger Woods' episode?
Yeah. So, all of that, and when an impact or an airbag deployment happens, all kinds of data gets shipped up immediately so that they'll actually call into the vehicle to see whether or not you're communicating with them to give them information about whether or not they need to dispatch fire, police, ambulance, and stuff.
Well, he had a nice drive, but he ended up in the rough.
Gosh.
Well, I see that he's back on his feet again.
Yep.
I saw that picture on the news last night. Recalls to tell you about. Ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Yep.
Yes.
I got a pen.
Driver's seat belt tensioner cable may separate on the Chevy Silverado 1500, the Chevy Tahoe, and the GMC Sierra 1500 from the model years 2014 through 2016. Side curtain airbags may be unsecured on the Buick Enclave, the Chevy Traverse, and the GMC Acadia. Model years include 2010 through 2015 and 2017 for the Buick, for the Chevy 2010 to 2019, and the GMC Acadia 2011 through 2016.
So if the side airbag goes off, it's just going to go shooting across.
Either that or it's going to shoot you out the other window because it's unsecured.
Oh, that's not good.
Pow!
That's not good.
Also, side curtain airbags may not deploy on the Toyota Venza 2009 to 2015.
I'd rather that than it goes shooting across the interior.
And foreign particles may cause oil pump to fail in the Kia Forte 2017 to 2018.
Foreign particles.
Foreign particles.
Your engine's coming
It's
apart.
coming apart on the inside.
Yeah.
But
What
we're
is
going
that
to blame the oil pump.
What is that foreign particle in there? Oh, it's a piston. There's that.
Well, I still like them recalling your soul.
That was good.
They were recalling the soul.
The devil down in Georgia, huh?
Devil went down to Georgia.
The devil went down to Georgia to recall your soul.
So, OBS, Task Force, GMT, Square Body, your guide to keeping GM full-size pickup names straight, according to Hemmings. The Art Deco era, from 41 to 47.
Are these choices of things we can talk
No,
about?
yeah, well, you can talk about them.
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Art Deco area, and you said 41 to 47. I think it kind of goes back more to the mid 30s.
That's what I would think.
This is what they are considering.
Art Deco.
Well, they're calling it image versus old car brochures. Art Deco 41 to 47. That's what they're talking about when it comes to their trucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was disconnected there.
And then the advanced design of GM trucks, Chevrolet, GMC.
Hummer, Escalade, Cadillac.
No, not 1948 to 1954.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Then there's the Task Force. The Task Force model truck, 55 to 59.
Oh, okay. So this is the generation of truck, kind of like what they call the square body, which would be that.
Right.
I mentioned that at the beginning of the story that you weren't paying attention
you
to.
threw a bunch of names and letters out. I didn't grasp what you were saying.
I wrote down info at InWheelTime.
Yeah. And I wrote down Jeff at InWheelTime.com.
Kind of like we were talking last week with the guy with the Mercedes and the Pagoda. Was that generation of SL.
So there really is no naming convention in the 1960 to 1966 models.
Okay.
Okay. The action line of trucks is 67 to 72.
The C10s.
The C10s. No, the action line. I call them the C10s, but
would that be due to horsepower? Wasn't the increase of horsepower at the time?
The action lines. The CK.
Yeah. C is two-wheel drive, K is four-wheel drive.
So then there's the square body,
Square
which
bodies.
everybody's all hot to trot over from 73
Well, same with the
to
action.
87.
The action ones, too. Those are real popular.
Yeah.
The OBS.
That's the old what?
The old BS from 1988 to 1998. A huge generation resurgent of interest in this particular body. It also had the 454 SS. Remember that in that generation?
And that was internally it was called the 400 series truck.
Yes, GMT 400 generation. Same alphanumeric model name, CK. You know, half tons, 1500, blah blah blah. You know that.
That SS 454 was a gas hog.
Isn't it a NASCAR truck? Didn't they have a
Then
NASCAR
there's the
truck?
GMT 800 from 99 to 2006, and then the GMT 900 from 2007 to 2014.
Right, which would be my current Tahoe's a 900 series.
Yeah, I don't know where they come up with these things.
It's
some of it's internal, some of it's outsourced. People just came up with the square body.
Well, 900's the pickup truck, and then there's some other small designations. A 920 is the Tahoe, and a 930 is the Suburban. So there is those numbers mean something.
Yeah, a little bit of logic or
within the corporation.
Yeah.
But they mean very little outside the corporation.
We'll be right back.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, May 15th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone's invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, May 15th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, May 15th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com.
Well,
we made it through another weekend.
That's it for this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like. Tell your friends about us. Share our junk, won't you? You'll get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts on Pandora, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcasts, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video technical director, sales and marketing man, Jeffrey Zekin. This week's In Wheel Time Car Show is not a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. For booking agent and podcast man, Mike Out of This World Bars, his royalty, King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us on our next extended live show next Saturday, 8 to noon Central Time. We'll be broadcasting from the 2021 Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Goodbye for now. We'll see you next week.